Right, we lads channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. Crusaders taking on the Waratahs should be a very exciting fixture. And also we have got their by task. Thanks for losing. Says Betty Wagon game hasn't started yet, but that is very confident. Liking it. But at the end of the day, the Waratahs have got a very strong side for this matchup. They're at Leichhardt Oval for this one. And currently the Crusaders, they are sitting in third on the table. The Waratahs, they are sitting in seventh. But if they win this game, they will promote themselves above the Hurricanes, who are currently sitting in sixth. But looking through at the two starting lineups, there are some very good players for both of these sides. And we will start with the home side, the Waratahs. It is going to be Angus Bell, Mahi Vailanu, and Harry Johnson-Holmes as the front row. 20 degrees, I should mention, is the temperature there as well, with only a little bit of a northeasterly. Jed Holloway and Hugh Sinclair going to slot in as the two locks for this game. Charlie Gamble, who is the informed number 6, although saying that, another informed number 6 is Pablo Matera, his opposite number in this game. Michael Hooper at 7, and then Raboni Warren Voziako is there at number 8, I should say. On that one, I was going to say number 18 for some reason there, but Jake Gordon, he was playing brilliantly last week. He is starting at number 9 for this game. Tane Edmund back at Leichhardt Oval. I think they mentioned that the last time he played here was for like under 20s or sorry, under 12s or something along those lines. Dylan Petch, then also Lalakai Faketi, Isaiah Perezi, Mark Nawakwanetawasi, and Alex Newsom is the last name in the starting lineup for the Waratahs. Hello, everyone, says Lord as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well and hope you are excited for this matchup. George Bauer, Cody Taylor, Ollie Jaeger as the front row there. Then from there, it will be Dom Gardner actually slotting in at number 4, and that is due to the late change. Initially, it was actually going to be Zach Gallagher, but he is nowhere to be seen for this game now. So instead off the bench, it will be Hamish Dalzell who will get an opportunity. But Sam Whitelock there at number 5. Then from there, they have got Pablo Matera, Tom Christie, and Cullen Grace as the loose forward trio. Bryn Hall at 9. 10 is going to be Fergus Burke, so no Richie Moonga for this matchup. Lester Whainā-Nuku out on the left wing. David Avili and Jack Goodhue making up the midfield. Sevu Reece out there on the right, and then Will Jordan coming back into the starting lineup. He will be fullback for this matchup. And something interesting that they mentioned is if Sevu Reece scores tonight, it will be the fastest 40 tries scored in the competition that they have ever seen for Super Rugby. So that is certainly something that the man will be looking for in this matchup up against the Waratahs. Although these two sides, they've got a rivaled history. They've played a lot in the past. But the big thing for me is the Waratahs, you'd have to say coming into this game, they're in the best form that they've been in for quite some time in terms of recent Super Rugby seasons. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. Hello, hello, hello. And there says Johanna, also we're at the World Cup, says Sebastian. Of course, it may have been due to another side getting dropped off, but Romania, where do you qualify now, Sebastian? Which group are you in? Do let me know. As soon as I saw that news, I was like, right, Sebastian's going to be celebrating ear to ear and probably year to year at this stage because Romania, they've made it through to the World Cup alongside Georgia in the European pool. Line breaks for Jack Goodhue last week up against the Rebels too, and also the tackle breaks too for himself as well. Hamish, have you seen how the URC trophy looks like? I think I saw a quick picture of it, but I can't quite think of it off the top of my head. Is it the shiny one? No, that might be the Ashes that I'm thinking of. Hello from Fiji. Says Aussie as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing terrific for this matchup. And up the lander, says Max. And lol the noobs. I mean, Warriors 121-20. That's the thing. I saw it went to Golden Time, but I never watch a Golden Time game for the Warriors because I know that if I watch it, they'll lose. So they've done well there. Good job from the Warriors. And now New Zealand, they have been able to win both of the games of the Super Rugby so far. Can we see another one in this matchup? We will have to wait and see. In fact, the 3 games of the Super Rugby so far, Waratahs number 7, even if they lose. So here's Lottie Smith. Yeah, they've got a very nice lead over the Western Force, so we're 10 points behind them. But if they win this game, they'll move themselves up into 6th and almost confirm a spot in the top 8 at Springboks, Ireland, Scotland, and Tonga. But it doesn't matter. We're just glad to be there, says Sebastian. Exactly right. I mean, a World Cup's a World Cup. And if they got an upset win over someone like a Scotland or someone like that, that would be absolutely huge for Romanian rugby. And I can't believe 10% of the bowl think Tars win, says Jack. I mean, I think I mentioned that I think on the Kiwi Lads Sport preview, Crusaders by 21, but it could easily be closer. I mean, the Waratahs have done it before, and that is the big thing. Go Crusaders, says Yo, and also hello, says Gareth. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Ben O'Keefe in charge of this matchup with Ruben Keane, Matt Callahan, and also James Leckie. Their next one, Moana or the Rebels. I think I'm going the Rebels for that game. It should be close, but Moana Pacifica, due to the fact that they didn't play last week, that's the only reason I sway in favour of the Rebels for that game. But Taty kicking this one off for Moana Pacifica, or sorry, not Moana Pacifica, for the Waratahs, I should say. Tom Christie jumped straight on the ball, and the Crusaders have been able to get this ball back. Now, up against the Rebels, they didn't have the best start to the match. It wasn't terrible. It's just they couldn't get themselves over the try line. Currently now predicting that ball quite nicely is Cullen Grace, number 8. He is in form at the moment as well. Fergus Burke goes for the chip and chase, and unfortunately, Will Jordan just unable to quite get through. It's a nice slow tackle on Edmund, although he's been bumped off. Now, David Arveli has to finish the job. The Waratahs have got this ball back. Crusaders, we just too much for the Waratahs. Also, the Warriors won over the Canberra Raiders in Golden Point. And so, yeah, doing very nicely. 97 Crusaders points in the last 2 versus the Tars, and 25 out of the last 26 games. Was a Crusaders win. That's crazy. There's Jack there as well. I mean, it's impressive, that is for sure, for the Crusaders. But you have to wonder, is there an upset coming out like that? Probably not, but there could be, who knows? And is Georgie Boy watching? And there, I don't believe so. I believe he is still working at this point in time. And also we have got there a knock-on from Severino. Will be the Waratahs who have got the scrum feed, and Warriors went to Golden Point. Sean Johnson won the game with a drop goal. Says Jake there. And also we have got there, honestly, I don't even feel bad for Spain. How can you make the same mistake twice for consecutive World Cups? They need to get this stuff together. Yeah, the fact that it was the same thing as last time just doesn't... Like, that's the thing. They probably didn't need him is the worst thing. It was just the one player, wasn't it? That wasn't supposed to be playing, but he did play. And it's cost them their whole World Cup spot. So they don't even have a chance of going through the repechage or anything either, do they, Sebastian? It's just pretty much they're completely out. Go Saders, Mr. Lachlan, and I says Amelia, welcome in. And draw today for Waratahs versus Crusaders. And there says Lottie. So a bold prediction there, but Jake Gordon now feeding in that ball. Brett Horse standing right there. He was trying to put maybe Jake Gordon off a little bit. Good attack and run from Tane Edmund. Now quickly recycled. Jake Gordon, flat ball off to Dylan Peach. He goes through. And the Waratahs score between the posts. And they will score the first try of the match. It was a nice set play. And they have been able to do very well. Moana win today, I think, by 3, says Mr. Lachlan. There's a brilliant try for the Waratahs to start this match off. And Dylan Peach is the man who was able to get it. It's a hard name to spell. I've actually written it a little bit earlier on than I would have normally. It was Dylan Peach who was able to score that try. That was a beautiful flat run. He had pace, and as soon as he was through, they were not stopping him, Dylan Peach. And he does score the first try of the match in the 3rd minute. The Waratahs have been able to strike first, I should say. And the ground also score margin for this match. Says Ed, there's a decent chance we see a lot of points, but I see Crusaders by 21. I'm not too sure whether or not that will be the case, though. And also we got there, no, says Mr. Lachlan. And also we have got there, Jordan will score a 5-pointer and sink the 2 with a beautiful layup, and also a South African prop for the Netherlands games of all. And there, says Sebastian. See, it's one of those ones they didn't need them, but they did. And go into the Rebels game tonight. Go Rebels. There's Xavier Brown, and that one has been kicked over. And how did the Waratahs score? They played a very nice little run in line. And it does mean that the Waratahs have got themselves a 7-0 lead now over the Crusaders. Fergus Burke about to kick this one off. I'm watching my Crusaders and my Roosters play at the same time today. And also nice try, Tars. And there says Nathan. Yeah, it was a very good one. Well, Dylan Peach, the try scorer. He's going almost through again. Well, yeah. And there says Penny Wagon. Dylan Peach is doing very nicely. He just lost it forward, I think was the comment there now. Flat ball off to Isaiah Perezi. Good tackle on by Jack Goodhue. And Wounded Tars will be looking for redemption against the New Zealand Super Rugby teams since it's an extremely difficult, or it is extremely difficult to topple them, says Sarah exactly right. And it's always a tough game against the New Zealand side. The Crusaders, though, seems like they started a little bit like they did last time. Also, George will be very upset now. Although he probably doesn't even know this game's going on, to be honest, because he will be a distractor working hard. And also, okay, please, Crusaders, please no yellow and red cards, please. And there says Lord. Now, Jake Gordon going to be putting up the box kick. Chasing this one hard is Noah Kwaneta-Wasi trying to line it up. It's almost, it's a very awkward landing. And it's going to be lost forward by Fergus Berg. The worst thing about it is he landed extremely badly. And he's asking the question of, is that me taken out in the air? A bit sore after my game today. Did you end up, first of all, you are loose forward, aren't you? So did you end up scoring? If you didn't end up scoring, did you end up getting any turnovers in the breakdown? Do let me know, Xavier. And also, Crusaders are the toughest Kiwi team to beat. Go Crusaders. There's Lachlan. Man, he's hit his head hard on the ground there, Fergus Berg. The fact that he got up so quickly is incredible because he landed in such an awkward manner. But do let me know who you think will be the second try scorer of this match. And if it is Severisi, he will have the first, or he will have 40 tries scored in the quickest succession rate for anyone in Super Rugby. But Jake Gordon currently Had a terrific game last week. He will be looking to do the same in this one. Bryn Hall going to be there in the starting lineup. Te Tahuri Ringi back. And did you win today? Says Mr. Lachlan. It seems impossible for the Tars to win, but footy is where the magic happens. Says Ed, exactly right. I just got that little feeling that something might be brewing. And that was before we saw the first try, despite the card issues for the season so far. It's good to know the Aussie teams have been competitive against their Kiwi counterparts. They just need to work on the wins against the Kiwi teams from Savvy Souza. And yeah, they've been looking pretty strong. And I like the fact that the games have been competitive and the Australian sides are at least getting the 1 point for it, because it shows how different it is this year than it was last year. Last year for Trans-Tasman, it was a little bit, I guess, one-sided to say the least, but now it seems like there's kind of that gap slowly closing. Crusaders lose, Kerwin will be intolerable on the rugby pass. There says it was Gareth. And yeah, I also hope you are doing well, mate. Must be morning in South Africa, so good morning. Hope you are excited for Leinster versus the Stormers later on. We are going to be covering that game on the channel. It's a good push from the Waratahs. They've got the scrum advantage, and now they're trying to shut this one down. Michael Hooper plays halfback. Tries to step around the tackle, but Tom Christie doesn't miss too many last year. The New Zealand teams won 23 out of 25. And there says Mr. Lachlan and question for you, Hamish, what is your favourite part of the show? And I probably couldn't think of one off the top of my head. So it is the rugby is happening at the moment. Sever Reece, he has got that ball, but they're going back for the penalty initially. Oh, okay, Sever Reece was offside for that one. So now the penalty goes the way of the Waratahs. Right, I would like to see them keep the pressure on and go for the corner here. And Taney, he's got the ball. Jake Gordon, what's he deciding? I think they should go for the corner. I would love to see it. And Alex Newsom will mark Noah Kwanero to score a try. And then I like how you put nah rather than actually typing it out. Smart from you, because, yeah, spelling it and also just typing it is a lot of effort. And also, hopefully, the Rebels will win, because I can't go 0-2 with sporting events today. And also, commentators win this. They have kicked for the corner of the Waratahs, and straight away, like it. I like the fact that they've decided, right, we got them on the back foot. Let's not give them any breathing space, because normally, if you take the three, it just gives the Crusaders a chance to reset. Now they're right back into it. And open to score next, says Max Cottle. And I was like, I'm looking for this game. But now it will be the line-out throw for Vailanu. Big opportunity for him in the starting lineup today. It's taken nicely by Sinclair. And the rolling maul does begin for the Tars. They're starting to march forward just a little bit here. And they're looking pretty good currently in the early stages of this match. It's starting to move now. Still waiting for a Vailanu. Now passes it back across into the hands of Faketi. Getting closer to the line now. 5 meters out. Jack Goodhue trying to slow it down a little bit. Vailanu does just crash himself forward just a bit more. Ball's still available. Now off into the hands of Angus Bell. Only 2 meters out in front of the post. Can they do it once again? The Waratahs, can they repeat what they did only moments ago? Now it's going to be the big man. That's going to be another advantage. Well, I'm going to put $300 for the Landers to win. And this is Max that you would have got on the payday there, as they were able to just creep that game up against the Fijian Rua. Now around the side once again, it is Dylan Peach, a long way off his wing, but wants to keep himself in the action. Now Jack Gordon passes, no, instead tails the dummy, and just short of the line. Brilliantly done by the Waratahs. Harry Johnson-Holmes, that was very close. And is the ball available? No. They got it held up. Oh, I think you've got to have a look at that one, Ben O'Keefe. I think he was extremely close to that one. He's celebrating as if he scored it. Right, how close did he get here, Harry Johnson-Holmes? He was all but over. Nah, his arm, I think his arm ended up just underneath him there. And either way, the important part is that we didn't go down without a fight, despite most of the games. We were abysmal. And they had 3 tries in the first half. CZ Vogel, and also Rebels can win against Moana Pacifica, depending on what kind of team the away team puts out. And there says Sammy Souza, and I'm joking, Hamish, I didn't put any money on the Landers. I mean, your heart would have been in your mouth or in your throat for the later stages of that game, the way it was going, and I had to leave it 8:20 p.m. Former 3 live streams. Will Jordan must be close to Sever Reece's record too for quickest tries. Yeah, he's been sensational, Will Jordan. And, I mean, his All Blacks record speaks for itself. Okay, Emid now has the tee in hand, so they are going to be taking on the 3-point now for the Waratahs. Or is he? Oh, they're not sure where the mark was. So now they're actually kicking for the corner. I like that from the Waratahs. Once again, they're going aggressive. And Sebastian, you guys good? Or you good guys? And there says Sebastian. No, sorry, says Gareth to Sebastian and Paddy. And then South Africa, it's currently 9:14 a.m. So an early morning start. And Tar's going to run out of petrol come the second half. Says Nathan Quishiomish, what is bad? video on my YouTube channel. I couldn't tell you, Brandon. Overall, but now it's going to be Vailanu who does throw it in. And it is nicely taken by Jed Holloway back at the back for Vailanu. The rolling maul, it's going sideways at the moment. Pablo Matera trying to defend it. And it's going to be tough for them. Vailanu now, once again, they have been told to go backwards. Well, they have been told to use it, I should say, for Kitty running high, which is risky to do up against Crusaders, as they are very good at being able to rip that ball away. And also, we have got their thinking of all good here. Hope you well too, my guy. And there's Sebastian, but now currently 10 metres out from the line. Angus Bell hit hard. It's going to be a loose ball. No advantage. And now Perezi running hard at the line, flicks it out the back. And Noah Quanito scores again for the Waratahs. And that is 2 in a row for the home side. I bet those tips went nuts in the last game. Or those tips went nuts in the last game, despite the Highlanders escaping with a win. Here's Sammy Souza, but this game, Noah Quanito, he had to score it just so that I had to try and write his name, I think, is his logic behind it. But Noah Quanito is the man who has been able to score it. Noah Quanito, maybe. We'll go with that. But 11 minutes in, and the Waratahs have got the Crusaders down by 2 tries. And there you go. And also, God damn it, says Lord there. And also, we have got there to watch a match between Highlanders and Drew. It was a fire. And there says, actually, we did stream it as well. It was an absolutely terrific one to watch. And also 2 Super Rugby games and 5 United games. And there says Lottie. And yeah, we are going to be covering the game between Leinster and also Leinster and the Stormers. I kind of want to do Sharks versus, I think they're playing Benetton, aren't they, the game beforehand, but it will depend on time zones and kind of schedules and whatnot of whether or not we are ready to be able to cover that game as well. But Tane Edmund from 41 metres out on a hard angle. I know what's happening with the Crusaders. And there says Tesla, it's going wrong at the moment. They are 12-0 down after 12 minutes. What's up, Hamish? Can you believe the handicap for this game was a minus 20.5 for the Crusaders? That's gone over 14-0. I see, that's the thing. I said that they would win it by 21, the Crusaders. But at the start of this game, I just had that slight feeling that the Waratahs were going to come out firing. And they have. But I'm just wondering whether or not it is going to be the case of, is it a first half blitz and then the second half will be when this game changes? Or are they going to continue just going at this rate? Because if they are, this is going to be a huge win for the Waratahs. We have got their where's this being played. It is at Leichhardt Oval in Sydney. So it is a home game for the Waratahs in this matchup. And also, do you think the Crusaders will win still? I still feel unless the Waratahs score about 2 or 3 more tries, they will still be able to come back in this game, the Crusaders. And did the Tars just score twice, or is the scoreboard naked? They have scored twice. Well, this game, Crusaders will definitely come back, I say. And WTF is going on. CCX, tell you what, there are a lot of people who are angry at their TVs who put $1.09 on the Crusaders to be able to win this game. And now they are going, geez, we should have possibly backed the Waratahs for $7.50. But now Bryn Hall cross to Cody Taylor, quick hands off into the hands of Dom Gardner, who got to start this match and say that's definitely going to come back and destroy. And then George Bauer rocking a bit of a beard. I didn't realize that the man had a beard, but actually now that I think about it, he had a bigger beard, didn't he? Tom Christie, he's dropped that ball, and it's a scrum beat on the halfway line for the Waratahs. Remember, 29-0 down against the Waratahs in 2018, and they won 31-21, or 29, sorry. Yeah, that's the big one that everyone will remember between these two sides. And that is why it is not over until the final whistle blows. Stormers and Sharks to win respectively, especially when South Africa is not an easy place to win for Leinster. And Benetton said, Sammy Sosa, yeah, it seems to be in the URC, games in South Africa are won by South African sides a majority of the time, like 95%. And then games played in the Northern Hemisphere are won by Northern Hemisphere sides about 90 or 85%. So whoever's got the home field advantage for the semi-final, quarterfinals, I think they're going to have a great chance of being able to go on and win at $190 on the Waratahs. And I love Crusaders versus Waratahs have to be my favourite Australian team to play against, says Mr. Lachlan. Currently 81% position for the Waratahs in the early stages. My hay fever still kicking me a little bit. That's gone down on the front row. But currently 2 tries already for the Waratahs in the early stages of this game. Looking very impressive for themselves. And yes, says Nathan. Also, Crusaders lose. They will still be third. Yes, they will. Oh, Ollie Jaeger already got some blood coming out of the forehead. By the looks of it, the Crusaders have all found a razor. I think they've all gone with the weirdest beards and facial hair that they can go with. Maybe they should have spent more time practicing rather than chopping their faces into funny facial hair shapes. They'll probably win now by like 50 just to shut me up. But we have got their Brumbies Crusaders at GIO Stadium. That's going to be a tough one. And WTF is wrong with the Crusaders. There's going to be now a penalty to the Crusaders at scrum time. They've done very nicely there. And also we have got the Crusaders beat the Brumbies at GAO just 18 to 17. And also Crusaders will come back. And trust me, guys. And also Bulls win anywhere with Mornay Stain. Says Lottie Smith. Yeah, brilliant player, Mornay Stain. And Goodyear has never lost to an Australian team. The Crusaders just need to keep their hands on the ball. Is that? Geez, that's a stat and a half, Dean, that you've just unleashed there. So never lost against an Australian side. And Mark Nawakone scored a try. Yes, did indeed. Now 25 metres out, the Crusaders have got this line out. Patient people, still 3/4 of the game to go. Exactly right. That's not straight from the Crusaders. Well, that hurts. Cody Taylor recently, his lineouts have not been very successful. And what if Crusaders lost 36-5? And there at one moment, maybe my scoreboard, there we go. I wasn't sure whether or not I had updated itself. But the Crusaders, as long as they keep themselves relatively close in this game for the first half, they've got a good chance. And go Waratahs low. So here's Justin there. Apparently the Waratahs with a 14-0 lead. The Leichhardt Oval crowd are loving this one. At the moment, handling errors. We have seen 3 handling errors from the Crusaders and not a single one from the Waratahs. So a little bit of early nerves for the Crusaders. And also Crusaders haven't lost to an Australian team since 2019 when the Waratahs shocked them 20-12. But then the week after, the Sunwolves beat Waratahs 31-29. Says Mr. Lachlan there. Now Jake Gordon inside of the 22. Flat run from Lalakai Fageti. And also we have got there, hey, did you watch the Fiji and Drills game? I certainly did. We did our live stream for it on the channel. Wasn't entertaining one right to the final whistle. That one's gone up with the charge down, but luckily a favourable fall for the Waratahs. Now Dylan Peach down the wing. And will we see a card in a game of yellow, I reckon? Now Dylan Peach breaking through. He's got pace. He's got Alex Newsom with him. And he's going to do the chip in behind. He had Will Jordan and Sever Reese back there still waiting for it. It sits up for Sever Reese now. And it's going to be a counter-attack for the Crusaders. Passes off to Pablo Matera. Now selling a dummy. He's lowered him by about 4 players for the Waratahs who tried to hold him up. But he has been wrestled down. If the Crusaders can wrestle this or recycle it quickly, they'll get a good chance. And also, no way. I love the live commentary. It's our Yeah Warriors. And there says Patrick. And I did see that they were able to get themselves a golden point win against the Raiders. That pass has missed its mark, and it was forward as well in the process. And that is going to be a scrum feed for the Waratahs on the 22. I'm conflicted. I want the Crusaders to lose, but they win too much. But the Tars are Australian. Hope it's a draw, says Gareth. So I feel like that's a little bit of, you wouldn't mind 2 points per side. And they did a haka for the chat. And there says Mark. And also we get the George emoji from Tesla. Come on, Crusaders and Crusaders number 3, win or lose. Says Lottie. Although if the Crusaders win this game, they will actually go above the Brumbies. So they will move themselves up to 2nd in the table. But Sever Reese with a good attack and run, like I mentioned earlier on, if he scores a try today, he has scored 40 tries, the quickest that anyone ever has in the Super Rugby competition. And our sloppy Crusaders team is good for the rest of the comp, but still other teams need to earn the win to beat Canterbury. Exactly right. Right. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. I'm quickly going to go like this while we've got a scrum reset. We'll go like this. Sorry about that. Hay fever is really hitting me hard this year. Unfortunately, Jake Gordon currently got this ball on the side of the Waratahs, and they are looking to try and find their way through, maybe over the Crusaders line one more time. They're currently on the 22, though. And Aussie Crusaders vs Blues grand final. I say, and who do you support? I am from New Zealand, so I should have a New Zealand side, but really because I'm halfway in between in terms of location in the country, halfway up the South Island. In fact, a little bit further down the South Island, it does make it pretty easy to be impartial. I just love watching all the Super Rugby sides. There's a little knock on from the Tars, and now the Crusaders will have the scrum feed. And also, I just went Waratahs over 18.5 for the first half, says Dean. Geez, that's a bold statement, but it's looking pretty good at the moment. I reckon the Brumbies might shock CSX and Tars up because the Aussies need a win, says JSB. And also, Crusaders playing cricket instead of rugby, says Guy Broom. And Kiwi Lad says Lottie. And also, Blues will thrash Rebels at Eden Park next week, says Max. And we will be covering every game of rugby on the channel for Super Rugby, and also quite a few URC fixtures. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is hugely appreciated. And anyone who hasn't already, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. It is our 2nd channel, and it has got our previews for all of these matches that we do. We are on the road to 850. That is our goal by the end of the weekend. So if you can help us out by hitting that subscribe button over there, it is hugely appreciated. And we've got plenty more videos coming up on there in the future. We also beat the Blues. And there as well says, and it was Hex, and also the Kiwi Lads. And when you get tackled into touch so many times, people think you're looking for boundaries. And there says Sebastian. And that's the thing. Like, someone who is definitely the best down the wing that I've seen in a long time is Habosi. That man can have like an inch from the touchline and somehow not go out. And I still can't like kind of work it out because physics means that he should get forced out, but he never does. And he always plays very well at the moment, Habosi. But currently, the IPL, it is well and truly in full effect. I wish I could have done more of it, but unfortunately, the time zones, I realized anytime the IPL's on, I'm normally sleeping, which is nice. And it's rare for George not being there, but he's definitely watching from home. So yes, Sammy Souza, although he'll be in a tractor currently driving. I think they were carting maize today. So that is why he won't be here for this one for the Crusaders game. But he would have loved to be there. It's going to be a penalty now in favour of the Crusaders. And happy birthday, Reed Jr. Yes. And there it says Reed. And currently now, it is going to be the penalty to the Crusaders. So nicely done inside of their 22, having to work hard up against Angus Bell. But Ollie Jaeger does win that penalty. There we go. I always dread the mornings because, like, I only got up at about 4 or somewhere around there. So that is why I'm still sneezing and all sorts. And also, we have got the out of the full equals 6. Or out on the full equals 6. Yeah, nice shot over the ground. I was doing some commentary for something else the other day, kind of something outside of the YouTube channel. And I did make a reference to cricket, even though it wasn't cricket. And it was to do with a straight drive for 6. Now I'm going to be passing off the back. I feel like that was such a useless bit of information, wasn't it? Sorry about that random tangent. Currently now Cody Taylor, Jed Holloway almost going straight through the middle, and he's trying to keep that ball tied up, but it is going to be out the back. Been watching a bit of the IPL. It goes on for too bloody long. I'm not attracted to the competition whatsoever, says Sebastian. Yeah, it's a very long competition, isn't it? Like, and the worst thing is the 2 a.m. starts here in New Zealand just suck because, like, if I'm up that late, it's normally because we've got rugby on. So that's normally our priority anyway, but we got to do one half game, which was a decent effort, I guess. Super Rugby Chiefs versus Brumbies, Hamilton Saturday, or Hamilton City Saturday next. Yes, as well. So that is going to be the Chiefs next game. It has gone high. Fine. Nuku trying to line it up, doesn't take it. Alex Newsom doing very nicely, but it's a penalty to the Crusaders. Blocking from Noah Kwanetawasi. And now the Crusaders have got themselves a possible kick for the corner if they do want it. But he went up to get in the way of Leicester Whainanukū. Tell you what, it's a battle with the long names on this side. It is Mark Noa Kwanetawasi up against Leicester Whainanukū. It's quite fun to say, isn't it? Then out on the other wing, who we got? Dylan Peach and Sever Reese. It's just not the same, is it? Not many syllables between those two. Plenty of tries, though, including Dylan Peach is a little bit earlier on. And Butler still needs almost 480 runs to beat Coley's record. And Mumbai Indians, the team I support. Here's JSP there. It's going to be taken nicely by the youngster Dom Garnu to get promoted into the starting lineup. Now it is going to be close to going down. I think the Waratahs might be able to defend this one. No, it's going to be an advantage against Vailanu. Got a little bit too keen and jumped over the top of that breakdown. Ollie Jaeger 10 metres out now for the Crusaders. That's a little knock on the ground, but they're going back. I'll take any rugby union, league, football or cricket game instead of the full IPL game. Or if no sport is on, away. Says Sebastian. That one. It also says Waratahs on the Waratahs try scorer. And the Waratah, it does, doesn't it? Tell you what, I'll add an S there. Just because I guess at this stage they've got multiple. Haven't they? They've been scoring. I accidentally deleted it. One moment. There we go. We had an S on there. It feels weird not having the Crusaders down the bottom. I'll be honest, normally I add them relatively early. 3 penalties conceded in the last 5 minutes for the Waratahs. Just a little bit of momentum shift now. A lot of Crusaders players breathing heavily. Cody Taylor throws the ball in. It's taken nicely by Cullen Grace. And it has gone down legally from the Waratahs. It got back up, though, the Crusaders. And this is looking close. Held up underneath is the comment. And now because of it, it will be a goal line dropout. But Tom Christie will be disappointed not to be able to get that one down. I think it was almost like the one down the other end, how he just got rotated to his back. Was unable to get it down. Tom Christie there, rolling. Yep, on his back there, unable to get it down. And also, it's like women's beach volleyball. And there, I like women's beach volleyball, says Sebastian. And also, Sebastian, do you like women's high jump? And also, yeah, where's the try status, says JSP. Surely they're coming soon, I should say. Currently, 14-0 for the Crusaders in the first 24 minutes. And Gordon Ortain to score a try, says there. So Jake Gordon, he was going very well last week. He was definitely one of the saving graces for them in the match. Speaking of graces, Cullen Grace has got his hands on the ball. That was perfect timing. Vailanu, he's getting held in, isn't he? He's still getting held in from Cody Taylor. So that's unfortunate for him, because I think he was trying to get out of there. Cody Taylor had him by the collar and was saying, "You're not going anywhere now, Fergus Berg. Big run at Noah Kwanetawasi." Rather than going on the outside to Whainanoku, he does decide to take the contact 30 metres out now for the Crusaders. Hall off to Ollie Yeager. A little bit of a juggle there from him. And they're going back for the initial penalty advantage. You still rolled into the 9 as a comment. And Vailanu, he's not happy with that one. To be fair, like if we see it again, he was pretty unlucky. And Ollie Yeager has got a cut on his forehead, and he looks like he's a member of a biker gang. You got to roll to the side as the comment there for that one. And now in behind it is going to be a line out for the Crusaders. 15 metres out. They need a try, and they need one soon. Unless, of course, they do end up in the situation of going into halftime 14-0, maybe more down, depending on how the Waratahs go for the later stages. Currently 25 minutes and an awesome work, lads. And there says Nathan. Last 5 penalties conceded have been up against the Waratahs, and that's all in the last 5 minutes. Sam Whitelock, awkward fall for him, but now passed off. Beautiful flick pass from Lester Whainanoku. And now sitting only 15 minutes out from the line. And also we got there Melbourne versus Hawthorn. Who do you go for? Another wild guess. I'll go Melbourne just because I know where it is. Hawthorn, they don't have their name or like the location of their name. And how are you going for? And there says Connor, for this game, I mean, I'm liking what the Waratahs are doing currently. The Crusaders, they are the New Zealand side, so I should be going for them. But it is great to see the Waratahs playing as well as they are. Big run from Pablo Matera. And that man had everything but a try last week. He's dropped the ball, which is something he didn't have last week either, now that I think about it. Jake Gordon kicking it in behind, trying to win that foot race. Is going to be taken nicely by Jack Goodhue. Now back in his pace, just recently back from injury. Running pretty well for a man who has been out for quite a wee while. Now Bryn Hall goes back to Fergus. Berg goes for the chip in behind. Bit of a nothing one. And Noah Kwanetawasi does take the mark. Hollywood Magpies. And there, as I said, Series B and Great New Zealand Warriors win tonight. Yeah, they were able to sneak it in the golden point time. Up with the material, almost hurdling over one of the players. I believe it was Charlie Gamble. And that man, he does what he wants. I saw a picture of him rocking up to practice. He was wearing what was he wearing? A leather jacket. And also from there, he had some brown pants, colourful shirt. He was just pretty much, he was wearing whatever he found, really. For Charlie Gamble. And also, hi, Aaron says, Jason, welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing well. And also, if that's not all he's wearing, he's also got that massive mustache on his face as well. Currently now it is going to be Cody Taylor with this line-out throw. Already has had one not straight line-out in this matchup. Getting ready to go now. Throws it into the front, taken nicely by Pablo Matera. Now off Hall. Gives it off to Whainanoku with a bit of crash ball in the midfield. He does play centre occasionally, Lester Whainanoku, although they have got him on the left wing for this match. And I want to buy a blue stop in Piaroa at the Royal Shop. Says Max, my voice just tried to disappear for half a second there, but luckily it has come back just a little bit. But yeah, I was actually looking at Hurricanes kits the other day of whether or not I would get myself one. They're on special, but they're still $125. Well, one all stolen by Noah Kwanetawasi. Finds a brilliant offload as well to Angus Bell. He has been informed as of late. And also, I'm going to Sky Stadium on Sunday to watch Fiji and Drua versus the Hurricanes. That will be a very good game. It's a flat ball off to Jed Holloway. Finds that pop pass up. Now into the hands of Lalakai Foketi. Ball on the inside to Alex Newsom. Grubber in behind. Dylan Peach is going to have to chase this one. It is just going to roll into touch. The Waratahs still 14-0 up, though, after 28 minutes. Crusaders look like they were considering taking it quickly, deciding against it. And the Ember, Severis, he has not really had much of the ball other than one of those very early runs that he had. But for the Crusaders, they are currently sitting in third, like I mentioned, brilliantly done. And it was the interception pass thrown by Cullen Grace. And do you know what happened to Ruben Love? And there says Jason, I do not. Is he injured? Jason, do let me know. And also, the Tars score more passes. And there says Mark Roberts. Currently now, Bryn Hall. It's going to be fired up high from him. He has been hit hard in the ribcage. For his troubles taken beautifully by, I believe that was Dylan Peach, and the Canes away kit is cool because of the black. There's JSP there now. It is Vailanu Trying to break through. Oh, he's broken the tackle with Cody Taylor. Found the offload. It was debatably forward, but for now, Foketi trying to link up with someone was unable to do so, though. It has been dragged down by Severis on the 22. Now Jake Gordon back to Taney, but after Charlie Gamble, the Tars once again going to be on the front foot now. Gordon passes it back to Jed Holloway. He might be staying at home looking after his family. And it says, Jason, that's going to be the penalty to the Crusaders, though. And I believe it was Warren Wozayako who was penalised for that one. But that was close. Once again for the Waratahs, anytime they've had attack, and I mentioned this in their last game as well, anytime they have the ball in hand, they have a good set play and also a very good ability of being able to find an offload. But the thing that normally stumps them a little bit is that defence. But currently, they are actually the side that have missed less tackles in this matchup. And that will be the way that they want to keep it. But currently sitting on the halfway line now, it will be the Crusaders who have got themselves a lineup. It might be a prerequisite. That's a hard word to say. Maybe for a winger to have hard names to say. I should rename my son to longest Maori name, and he will automatically make the All Blacks. Yes, Lord. Worth a crack. Although I think the one that changed that really was, what's the shortest name we can think of for a winger? I know we've had like Corey Jane, Jonah Lomu. Who's someone with shorter than 3 letters or 3 letters or shorter for their last name? Do let me know. Brilliantly kept in the field of play for the Crusaders, joining the ruck from the side, and it's going to be actually a penalty advantage now. No, just a knock on. And I was like, yesterday I made 100 videos and I got 100 subs. Congratulations, Jason. It's great to hear for yourself. Anyone who isn't already subscribed, that's the perfect opportunity for me to plug the second channel, Jason. So thank you very much for that. I will pay you later, but that is going to be the second channel link for anyone who does want to check it out. We are on the road to 850 subscribers over there. We are trying to hit it by the end of the weekend, and we are currently 19 away, so we are getting extremely close. Johnny May, good point. What about for All Blacks? Any All Blacks that we can think of who have got the shortened name for out on the wing? Is there anyone with just 2 letters? James Lowe? Is that without the W there? No, sorry, not Lowe. It wouldn't be, it would be low, but it's not that low because he didn't even play for New Zealand, did he, now that I think about it? Sarah Reese is only 3 syllables. Does anyone else do that? Like when you're thinking of syllables, how you do the clapping? I feel like that was something we learned at school and I just still do it at this point in time. Now Jake Gordon. He's also 3. Lomu. And there, I'm just going to clap everything now. And hello, Hamish Brody. Welcome in, mate. Inga the winger. That is true. Was his last name Inga, though? Or was it? It was a little bit longer, wasn't it? But I guess nickname-wise, he got a very short one. I'm trying to think of any name that is shorter than 2 or like 2 letters. Joe Atamani. That says Jason. That's going to be another penalty against the Waratahs, though. And this is starting to add up just a little bit more for them at this current point in time. What is the longest name everyone's seen for a winger? All countries. I know that Nawa Kwanendawasi's got to be right up there. I would think also Whaina Anoku, relatively high up there. Who else have we got as a long last names? Do let me know. Currently now driving this one forward once again for the rolling maul. I believe Holloway, he's gone straight through the middle now. And because of it, that's going to be the scrum feed for the Waratahs. Brilliantly done, to be honest. It was only 7-3 against the Rebels for the Satyrs. So, and the SSX exactly right. Tavita Lek, brilliant. Well done, Tama. You have nailed that one. And also, Ji Ling, it is the Japanese winger, 1989. And also we have got there Vaianga Tui Kamala, aka Inga the winger. And also Little Late joining the stream. I had some work to do. Sorry for late joining. No worries at all, mate. It is great to have you here. But Tama's nailed that one. Is there anyone else with only 2 letters than Tavita Lima? Anono is pretty short. Not a winger, though. And there it says Sebastian. Yeah, I guess depending on what you call, I guess it's still 3 letters for the first name, isn't it? TJ Piranara, but that's actually shortened, isn't it? Now that I think about it. And also, and a short name, Lomu. And there says Max, he certainly did have a short name, but certainly a brilliant career out on the wing. Pablo Matera, he will be excited for this game. He's got a big smile on his face, I think, or I think he's just breathing heavily. So it kind of made him look like he was smiling. But this is certainly not something to smile about for the Crusaders. And also Vinaya Habosi, his try has to be the best from today. It was absolutely brilliant. And the thing is, he had 135 running meters in that first half. But unfortunately, in the second half, only had about 12. So that was the big game changer for Fiji, not finding him enough with that ball, John Timu. And there says JSP and also Jonathan Samatine. And there as well from it was Eva, but now currently a scrum feed in favour of the Waratahs. They're inside of their 22, and they will be looking to try and win this one. Currently, they've had 8 scrums throughout this game. Oh, I said 37 to the Crusaders, but in my surprise, it's 14-0. And there's how it certainly is. And the thing is, when people see 14-0, they probably think it's in favour of the Crusaders, but that is wrong because they have been doing very well throughout this game. The Waratahs, I'm very curious to know what the Crusaders' odds are sitting at now for this game. That is going to be a free kick to the Waratahs. They will be able to slow this one down just a little bit more now. Well, they decide that they want to do homage pro. Auntie Donna Miss here. I hope Auntie is here very soon, meets in streaming. And there says Michelle. I believe we have got her coming on probably for some of the cricket between New Zealand and the English, and that is coming up relatively soon. Right, Crusaders to win are paying $1.90. The Crusaders are underdogs in this game. That is something you never see. Crusaders being an underdog in a fixture 33 minutes in, and the Crusaders $1.90. That is the most I've seen them being like paid out at in a very long time. David Kirk, and there it says Max. Michael Hooper, he will be very happy with the performance. And Bruce Kierpia, hopefully I've said that correctly, Peterson. And then that's kicked very deep, too deep, not quite too deep. And Captain Stokes to debut against New Zealand as well. Yeah, he's probably going to do well, isn't he? Just because everyone does well against New Zealand. And up the Crusaders, this is a real shock. So here's Daniel there, and also we've got there Richard Lowe as the prop. And there it says it was from Lord, and also we have got there, geez, that's the name, as the longest name in rugby. I also have no idea who he is. He says it, yeah, no, I'm not even going to try and say that one. Big love, David, hope you're well. Says Sebastian, and also we have got their career. Sim's going to be playing tomorrow for the Brumbies. Okay, now the Crusaders, anyone who didn't get their money on them for $1.90, they're down to $1.75 now. So you missed the boat. Currently now 50 metres out from the line. And the Crusaders have got this ball back. Leicester Faina Anuku with a good attack and run made. Dragged down by Michael Hooper is the man who was able to make that tackle. Now Cullen Grace. Another attack and run. They need to make sure that they don't allow them to get any more. There's a real shock seeing that they are losing as well, says Daniel. And the big thing is not even just losing by the 1 try, losing by 2 tries. At this current point in time, I had to judge my iPad. It has 5%. And there it says Jason. For getting a little bit slow getting up here. Might keep an eye on him just in back play while he is going. I think it's some sort of maybe groin or knee, the way that he was kind of limping along, and that is going to be almost called as a rolling maul. They have been told to release it, though. Ball pops out the back for Bryn Gatlin. Now off to Jaeger. Fergus Burke. In fact, it's Goodhue. Now off to Pablo Matera. Trying to do a couple of steps. He's done the big fend as well. The big Argentine international, and also always a good sight when you see Crusaders busy losing. The more Crusaders loses, the further ahead we are on top, says Yadamais. It's going to be nicely taken by Noah Quanito RC, who now takes it very cleanly. He's having a brilliant game at the moment, Noah Quanito RC. For this matchup now going back across Jake Gordon, off to Angus Bell, Vailanu. He has been working hard throughout the early stages of this game. 35 minutes in, 5 minutes left. Till we get to half-time. Also, by the Brumbies in the Canes game, it will be a great game by. And there's Jason. We will see you later on. Another long name. Geez, that is a good name. So, see, I'm glad that a name like that isn't about currently, because or else, like, me trying to say that while also, like, saying that he was linking up with the other guy, like, that would be a tough mouthful and a half. Like, even saying Noah Quanito Wasi tackled by Leicester Faina Nuku would be long enough. Now they're saying maybe the Crusaders could have given away a penalty and the breakdown, but good run forward from Charlie Gamble, currently 40 metres out from the line now. Jake Gordon going short side, rush defence from Sarah Reese, almost ended up leaving a gap in the back. Pablo Matera has been taken out of the breakdown. Parisi breaking a couple tackles. And now Ollie Jaeger trying to get on it. The Crusaders just can't get themselves any position in this game for the early stages. Hugh Sinclair up to 10 phases now. Tesla, I just call him Vaughn or Big Vaughn in there as well, says Sebastian. Now Michael Hooper, another carry. Ollie Jaeger has been working tirelessly to try and get this ball back. Vailanu, sorry. And that's going to be the penalty to the Waratahs, though. And Fiji Samoa and Tonga got the long names low, says JSP. But that is another one. Can the Crusaders score before halftime? Razor won't be happy. He certainly won't be. He will be a very angry coach at halftime, because the way that it's sitting, the Waratahs with 14-0, do they kick for the corner and go again? Try and keep them under pressure, or do they go for the three-pointer? Perhaps feels like I'm watching Wales play Italy. Everyone is expecting you to win, but it just doesn't go for you. And yeah, says Flesh, and also the Crusaders haven't given much game time to Triple T. What are your thoughts about that? I think the thing is, Triple T, I like the signing, but I don't like the signing of him at the Crusaders, just because they've already got Drummond and also Bryn Hall. So those two are going to be the rotisserie kind of halfbacks. And then Triple T is going to be the third option. So I would have loved to see him maybe go somewhere else, such as, I mean, where could he go? Maybe even the Blues at the moment. It would have been quite cool to see Tetaro Tahurangi in action for them, seeing as they have had a couple of troubles with injuries of halfbacks, and have him as Finley Christie main guy and then Triple T as the second guy for the Blues. And go for the corner, says Max. They are going to be taking on the 3. They go for the 3, and Will Jordan is scoring a try in the 56th minute. So that is very specific, so specific that I'm going to start. I'm going to trust you for it as well, but currently now lining up this kick, and he is able to convert. So now the score 17-0. That's massive, and the Hurricanes are the Highlanders and there as well. And also Melbourne 24 or 47 at Hawthorn, 38 at halftime, and busting straight, mad, crazy flows, never knows. And there, that sounds like some sort of a lyric from a rap song that I have no idea which one it is. But yeah, I feel like there were better teams that he could have gone to rather than the Crusaders, just because he's not going to get too many opportunities. He might get a title under his belt, but you know, he might only get like 5 to 10 games throughout the season, if that. Now taken nicely by Jed Holloway. Currently, the Waratahs, they have got themselves a 17-point lead. It would be a return to the Canes for Triple T, and as a New Zealand team lost this season to an Australian team, they certainly have the Brumbies. They were able to defeat the Highlanders in the first round and did not expect this from the Tars. There's Max, and also we have got there. Can you say Noah Kwanitawasi 3 times fast? Yeah, all right. Noah Kwanitawasi, Noah Kwanitawasi, Noah Kwanitawasi. There you go. And now Jay Gordon has put the ball up high. It's actually easier to say than it sounds, because it's all like nice short syllables. Nawa Kwanitawasi, rather than like Whaiana Anoku, how it kind of is a little bit more, you know? Tane Edmund now going back across the Waratahs. They've been able to get this ball back. Alex Newsom flick out the back to Isaiah Parisi. He finds the offload up to Nawa Kwanitawasi, who is tackled by Whaiana Anoku. That was the battle that I was looking forward to commentating about, and then it was lost last week. And this is JSP. They certainly did up against the Brumbies. And also, this will be a real upset if the Tars win. It certainly would be. Someone was saying earlier on that they couldn't believe that people were giving the Waratahs a chance because they were 28 out of the last 29 games between the two sides. The Waratahs have lost, but I don't think anyone told them that. Congratulations, Hamish. And this says Max Cottle. And also, see, that one's a harder one. She sells seashells by the sea shores. I think it's pronounced Nawankwanitawasi. Nawankwanitawasi. And that's why I feel like, because I say it so quick, it sounds like all of them are just getting caught together. And God level Nawankwanitawasi announced and says it was Lord and also we've got this is uncharacteristic of the Crusaders. Can they come back from this, bro? But that is a big clap from the crowd. Halftime, 17-0 from the Waratahs. What a game from them so far at Leichhardt Oval. This is a score that no one saw coming. Even Waratahs supporters did not see this one coming. And also, who would you pick, Triple T or Richard Judd? And there, just because I've seen more of him recently, I'll go Triple T. But Richard Judd is a decent option as well. Noah Kwanitawasi at the moment. That's such a Australian or New Zealand thing to say. They asked him a question and he goes, full credit to the boys. I feel like that is just summed up. And also Richie Iwane. And there says it was Tesla. And also we have got there Nemoonga. Says Nathan. And also we have got there if Robbo, or is Robbo going to finally leave at the end of the season, win or lose? Says Fletcher. That's the thing. I don't know whether Robinson is considering hanging up the boots. I know he's always rumoured of going Northern Hemisphere, but I'm still waiting to see whether or not it is going to take place. And also we've got that Tars are going to win. And there's CSX. And also we've got that hope for Waratahs. Don't do a Reds, says Dwayne. Actually, now that you say that, this is the exact score that the Waratahs, the Hurricanes were up against, the Reds were up against the Hurricanes. Also, I agree, no one saw the score, says Justin there. So now, I guess I'm going to check the odds. Crusaders to win are over $2. That's massive for them. I want to see try scoring odds, because normally the Crusaders are dollar and a bit. They are currently $2.50 for their lowest man to be able to score a try in this matchup. And also time to eat some more KFC, brother. And damn, John Kerwin is being proven right at the moment on his comment, says the Lord there. And also Tars are going to win, says Hex. and also Rico Iauane. Rico, is that Rico Ioane? Is that Rico Ioane? Is that the one that you've got there? No, maybe not. Not sure. Maybe Rico Ioane in that situation. But now we'll look at some stats, ladies and gentlemen, for this game. And I don't know what to tell you other than the Waratahs have come out like a side who didn't realise they were underdogs by $7.50. Anyone who put money on them at this stage will be thinking, might buy myself a new car, depending on how much they put on. I hope the Tars win, but I won't be surprised if they make a comeback. Exactly right. That's the thing. You've got to watch out for that Crusaders comeback, because for them to win by 1 to 12 is paying $3.30. For the Crusaders to win by 13 plus is paying $5.75, but they can do it. That's the worst thing about it. The Crusaders, they always fight back. And Mark Nawakwanina-Wasi was able to do very nicely there in the 11th minute, scoring the try, also scoring in that first half earlier on. Dylan Peach was doing nicely. Yes, it's Rico Ioane. And there, as I said, JSP. But the two tries in this matchup, the 205 metres carried for the Waratahs, and also Reiko in there, as I says Nathan. But 126 metres carried for the Crusaders in this game. 16 defenders beaten for the Waratahs. The clean breaks 4-0. Offloads 8-2. And where's Richie Morrow? I think he's on holiday. I think I heard. Or he's gone over there, but he's not actually with the squad or something. Or he might be with the squad, but he's definitely not playing in this game for this matchup. But looking through at the defensive stats, 16 missed tackles for the Crusaders is actually very high for them. And it's 59% in favour of the Crusaders, in favour of the Waratahs. And Damian McEndy in there, as I says. I feel like that would be a fun game, trying to work out which names they are from like random letters. That's actually a game that they use, isn't it? But I can't think of what that game is at the moment. Michael Hooper, he's got himself a nice cold Powerade. He'll be loving this halftime break for himself. But Noah Kwaneta-Wasi, he had 15 metres carried, scored the try. But Dylan Peach, star of the show, 7 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, scored a try, 5 carries, 82 metres carried for himself. So everyone on the left wing currently is playing very nicely. And then Lester Whaiananuku actually having the most running metres out of any of the Crusaders players with 21, 3 carries, 1 defender beaten, and also Reds are going to make fun of the Highlanders, says Hex there as well. But the next week's games, I will let you guys know exactly who is going to be playing who for those next week's fixtures. We are going to be covering all of them on the channel, so if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But looking through at next week's games, on the Friday night, it is the Blues taking on the Rebels and the Reds taking on the Highlanders. They are the 2 fixtures that are taking place. Amy Asete as well. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Currently, the Waratahs doing extremely well in the early stages of this matchup. Then on Saturday, we've got 3 games back-to-back. Moana Pacifica, they will be taking on the Waratahs. The Chiefs taking on the Brumbies. And then the Western Force up against the Crusaders. And then after that, it is going to be the Hurricanes versus Fiji and Draw. That is the Sunday afternoon game taking place from Sky Stadium. Might be another game of 2 halves. I like their previous one. And that's the thing, every game in Super Rugby, I feel like that's the perfect way of describing it. It can be easily one team having all the momentum, then the other team working out what they did wrong and fixing it. Like in that last game between Fiji and Draw and the Highlanders, you would have to say that game was almost a game of 2 halves. Crusaders. And as I also the Blues, says Nathan, and also what a first half, says Amy Finn, although it is a sad face next to it. Of course, Crusaders, I think they'll fight back a little bit in this matchup. But Blues versus Rebels will be an interesting matchup next week. Game I'm looking forward to the most, so is probably Chiefs versus Brumbies, as that one for me could go either way. And now that we've seen a very good performance from the Waratahs here, maybe the game up against Moana Pacifica could end up being relatively one-sided. But of course, it's early on. We will have to wait and see how it ends up going. 8 tackles made by Charlie Gamble and Michael Hooper, both having very good games so far with the tackling department. Tom Christie making 9 tackles, David Arveli making 8. They are all of the big tackling stats. We haven't seen a yellow or a red card so far. I find it very interesting that at the start of this one, and Richie on AB stand down, that is very true. So he is not allowed to play due to the fact that the July tests are just around the corner as well, up against Ireland. That's going to be tough for them. And also we have, are you going to do any games back in New Zealand, or are there going to be any games back in New Zealand? So next week, we've got the Blues game in New Zealand, Moana Pacifica's game in New Zealand, the Chiefs, and also the Hurricanes. They are all happening in New Zealand. And then the week after that, it is going to be a Highlanders home game, Blues home game, and that is it. Okay, so there's still quite a few games taking place in Australia. It seems like every week there's going to be at least 2, and I believe that is so that the time zones work quite nicely for themselves. And also we've got their says Dale there, and also we've got as a sports team for Crusaders, says Smithy Toilet. Not hugely. They're missing, although to be fair, if you take away the fact that they haven't got Mwonga, it's pretty close. Like, they're probably missing, I guess you could say, Ethan Blackadder in the loose forward trio as one, and also maybe one of their locks. Although I think the thing is, I don't really consider Scott Barrett as like one who's missing, because he did it to himself by getting suspended. So because of that, I don't really count him as someone who counts as a missing piece, if that makes sense. It's Smithy Toilet. And there's Tesla, and also we have got there. Sorry, Guzzies, I haven't been watching rugby this year, and also haven't seen you in years, mate. Good to see you back. There's Tesla there as well. And that Hurricanes game next week, we have another tester for the draw, because facing the top dogs and the Crusaders and the Chiefs are respectively injury time. See, that's going to be a tough finish to the competition for the draw. But if they find any sort of momentum in the later stages, they will be absolutely loving it. Do you think Tars will win? At this stage, I'm still hesitant. Moody missing, but he's injured. So can't count him either. Says Dale there, yeah. So any player who's out due to injury or suspension, it's very tricky, like, because injuries are going to happen, unfortunately. The likes of the Highlanders missing Jonah Nariki and whatnot. You just got to kind of adapt to what you're missing. So who else is injured at the moment, Dale, for the Crusaders? Because I know Moody's out for 2022, which opens up the door for another loose hair prop for the All Blacks, perhaps. But other than him, I know Goodhue's just returned, which is good to see that he is finally back. Who else do they got? I haven't seen much of Kini Naholo. Is Kini Naholo injured, or are they just not playing him? Because I feel like it was a bit of a wasted signing if they don't give him any opportunities. He's only played like one game. Take care, Smithy, says Tesla, and doing good, bro. And there says a Toilet, Smithy, so it is great to hear it there. I'm going to cruise later, fellas. Says a Toilet, Smithy, so we will see you later on. But at the moment, Tane Emma doing very nicely in that first possession, 57% in favour of the Waratahs. They have had 7 penalties against them, though, which they were to be a little bit careful of. Offloads have made 10 to the 3. And not playing, I don't think. Says Dale there, and ice cream after KFC, says Justin. Tell you what, sounds like having a smorgasbord over there. It's the thing, they do put KFC and McDonald's and everything else, like in terms of fast food, right next to each other. So you could have a smorgasbord. You know, you could get some chicken popcorn from KFC, then you get some chips from Macca's, go over the road, get a pizza. Where else do they have? Burger King's a little bit away, the closest one that we've got, chocolate milkshake and a chocolate brownie. And there it says it was Justin and also Tars lost both main hookers, and Harrison, I'd argue, they're way more under strength than the status. Says Tars 15. See, that is a good point. That Will Harris, I think he's coming off the bench for this game, isn't he? A moment, I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, Will Harris off the bench for this game alongside Jeff Cridge. Ben Donaldson as well. Going to be one to watch out for in the later stages. Yeah, missing a couple of their key players there. Richie Moore had to dodge Ethan Blackadder last week, and both of those players not actually there. Tamaiti Williams, I think he's coming off the bench for this one. And what an effort for to keep the status scoreless after 40 minutes. Yes, something that not many teams are able to do. And hopefully the Tars could win this match, says Ed Vogel. There's a good chance. There is a very good chance. And like I mentioned, they were huge underdogs in this matchup. Now coming in as the favourites up against the Crusaders in the second half. But we saw that game between the Reds and the Hurricanes, which is why everyone is hesitant to give the victory to the Tars just yet, because we have seen some brilliant work from the New Zealand sides coming back in a second half. But the Waratahs, they couldn't have started this match any better, scoring that very early try of Dylan Peach. Then after that, Nawakwanita Wasi was able to go in and get himself the try. And then adding the 3 points a little bit later. Okay, they're actually at Amy Park currently. I do see Stan Sports correspondence. It is Andrew Murdens and also Drew Mitchell who is there. And also we have got their Crusaders better score first in the second half. They're going to need it, or else they could end up being like $2.50 or maybe $3 underdogs in this game, which is the highest we've ever seen. But the worst thing about it is they've flown Justin Marshall over, and he would have been keen to talk all about how well the Crusaders played at halftime. Only problem is he's got to sit there. He didn't look too happy in the commentary situation, because like he would have been ready to go. He would have been looking forward to the game, and then now no points. And then Iron Bridge also out, just check, says Dale. So out due to injury or resting? Dale, do let me know. And it's huge if the Tars win, although Crusaders might have other ideas. And imagine the Waratahs winning this with a bonus point. That would be like, you wouldn't be able to go outside in a Waratahs kit in Canterbury, I wouldn't think, after that. And Dan says Christian, so he's just seen the scoreline. Yep, certainly a surprise, and Waratahs won't choke. Are they going to finish this? And there says Yadamais, and also resting, says Dale for that one as well. Yeah, the big thing is, like, with the schedule, like, it's so tough in Super Rugby. Definitely for the likes of Moana Pacifica, I always feel for them because they had to, like, just fight so hard throughout their games. Like, they've got 2 games a week currently, and anytime they try and make up those games, those other games get postponed. I bet Waratahs would beat Crusaders. So did you put money on it, Kristen, or did you just bet with maybe one of your friends? Because if you did put money, you're looking probably decent at the moment because the Waratahs sit in very nicely indeed. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And also, if you do want to help us out, we have got the Kiwi Sport channel where we post our previews. I actually predicted the Crusaders to win by 21. I was a mile off. But I think that was about stock standard of what everyone was actually predicting. So I don't feel too bad overall, but it certainly wasn't that close, although there's still plenty of rugby left. Will Johnson is scoring a try in the 56th minute. Here's Tesla. If he does, Tesla, I will leave your comment up for like a good 3 minutes that I have started from earlier on. And also, we've got the Crusaders put on 21 unanswered points, says Justin. And that's the thing, Scott Robinson, how many times does he go into halftime 17 points down without scoring a single point? That is a rarity for the Crusaders. So he will probably be throwing cheers and, well, probably not. You're probably not really allowed to throw cheers, but he'll certainly not be happy with the way that they have played. They're getting outshined by the Waratahs currently. I got Crusaders by 25. I would laugh if they don't. And there says Nov Mum. Now, see, that's the thing. If I had predicted in my preview Waratahs to win this game by 3 or something along those lines, I would have gotten destroyed in the comments. Everyone would have been like, you're an absolute idiot. But it would have been a good choice at this stage. And I bet the 2 Pacifica teams will face each other at the end of the season for the knockout stages. So yes, Sammy Souza. Yeah, because they don't actually have a game anymore up against each other, do they? And that's a shame because I think they had to shorten the competition a little bit due to, round 13. Fiji and Drua taking on Moana Pacifica. That's actually 13 days' time that one will be taking place. And all right, Hamish, sounds good. So yes, Tesla there. But now we are ready to go for the second half, ladies and gentlemen. The Crusaders are going to have to make up 17 points if they do want to find themselves a win. But Harry Johnson-Holmes and his Warriors team are going to be making their way out onto the field. Michael Hooper, I mentioned about it. He is one of those players that in big matches, he steps up. And this was the biggest match of all for the Waratahs throughout their season. And they are stepping up to the maximum for this matchup. And how much confidence would that give Michael Hooper having a win over the Kiwis? Oh, he does a big jump as well, Michael. But yeah, if he has a big win over the Kiwis before going into the Rugby Championship and also the Bledisloe Cup, that would be huge for the Wallabies and also that man's confidence as he is the captain of the Wallabies once again for their upcoming fixtures. First of all, though, they have got England, which will be an interesting one. What's Razor do when he loses the dead worm? And there's Scarif. It's a good question. He doesn't lose very often, so we don't normally get to see it too often for himself. But also, come on, Sader says, Lord, this opportunity is still there for the Crusaders to be able to fight back. Will Jordan, could he be the one who changes it around? Kicked off by the Crusaders, and they do kick it deep. No, Quinita Dylan Pinch nailed in the tackle. Bio was the big man, Dom Gardner, and straight away the Crusaders have got this ball. They come out like a house on fire. Cody Taylor, 15 metres out from the line now. Brynall going across. David Avili's put it down this time, but I believe they will be going back for the initial knock-on, and it is still a scrum feed for the Crusaders, and Waratahs will lose to the Highlanders and Wallabies in there. And also we have got it as one of the best rugby cultures in the world. This will test their fortitude. And this is Justin Harrison. Also, we have got their Crusaders have fantastic comeback against the Waratahs a few years ago. Can do it again. And that's the thing. 17-0 was what the Reds were up over the Hurricanes. The Reds went on to lose that game 17 points to 30. So for me, this game is far from over. We've still got 40 minutes left. And the best thing is, this isn't the last game of Super Rugby that we will be covering on the channel tonight. The next game that we are doing is the matchup taking place between the Crusaders. That's a lie. They're playing now with the Rebels and Moana Pacifica. Ball has been fed in. Nice solid one at scrum time now. Bryn Hall goes back across to Severis, who is first receiver, trying to bring up another try. Oh, it's a penalty for a little bit of accidental offside or a little bit of accidental obstruction. It goes the way of the Waratahs Crusaders. I love you, please. Says Mal Melly's there. So they are currently going to be working extremely hard to try and get themselves back into this contest. He went back inside with a good run from Severis, but they did say just a little bit of obstruction there between Tom Christie and Michael Hooper, the two number 7s going head-to-head. Now it will be Vailanu with this line out throw for the Waratahs. 45 metres out from their line and up you Saders, or up the Saders, you magic people to the fans. And please Saders, I bet my whole house on this. Tesla, did you actually, Tesla, did you put a bet on them? See, that's the thing. I always wonder, like they were paying $1.09 at the start of this game, which for me isn't worth that risk. Like, yes, they were supposed to be winning it, but it's still tricky. They've got the advantage once again now for the Waratahs. And also should it be the Tesla, not the house says Dale. And also Saders, please come back for me, please. And interesting how the Crusaders will handle this moment. Now going to be kicked in behind. It's taken nicely by David Arveli. And now it's going back for the initial penalty. Up the Saders. Says OBN, come on Crusaders. Says Avast City. Yeah, but anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like to the channel. We are going to be doing plenty more live streams of Super Rugby, including the Rebels versus Moana Pacifica, like I mentioned. And anyone who does want to help us out, that link that I have just put there in the chat is for the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, where we did our preview, and we did actually predict that the Crusaders would win this game by 21 points. We were miles off there, but other predictions are a little bit closer overall, but definitely not that one just for now, because we are 43 minutes through. Tane Edmer kicking for the corner, which gets an applause from the crowd. And I've never bet anything and never probably will. It's a good way to be. Overall, you can't get disappointed and lose the money if you don't bet it in the first place. Was that an actual, like, that wasn't really a sentence, was it? At the moment, the crowd at the Waratahs home ground, they are extremely happy with the fact that they have decided that they want to go for the corner there. Now the Waratahs, 20 metres out from the line. Throwing this ball into the front, taken nicely by Jed Holloway. He now sets it at the back. Dylan Peach joining. It's a penalty to the Crusaders for offside. And also lost 6K on Australia versus Lions back in the day. Says over there, and also look at that score. Wow. Says that Johnny and also must be a rejuvenated Waratahs team this season. They are. They seem to have just found their momentum and their feet underneath them. Same with the Rebels, actually, now that I think about it. Both those two sides who were struggling last year have now been able to find themselves some decent form, which does do wonders for the competition. It makes it a lot closer, and it does mean that you never quite know who's going to be able to win. That's Ruff Obi. And as I says, Tesla. Now Cody Taylor got the line out throw here for the Crusaders, sitting 40 metres out from the line. Dom Gardner takes it nicely. Big run from Pablo Matera. Now going to be still just available at the back for Brynall. And Waratahs flanker is from Canterbury. He would love to win this. So is that Charlie Gamble that we're talking about, Dale? Is he the right one that I have got? Because I know it's not Michael Hooper anyway. As the shot, but now David Arveli trying to break the line, but Lalakai Faketi able to drag him down. Now looking to the short side. Will Jordan, nice pop pass on the inside to Cody Taylor, but they just aren't making a huge amount of meters. And what jersey Moana Pacifica go to wear, please, says Mamelis. I believe they are wearing their heritage kit, if I'm not wrong, which is their kind of, I think it's the blue and the red. But then saying that, they would actually overlap with the Rebels, so it's a good question. Maybe the blue, they might get to wear just their normal home kit for this matchup. But as soon as we know, I will let you know that's going to be a clean turnover for the Waratahs. And they have got that ball back. Yeah, I bet on the Lions. Damn, Australia won. George Gregan is my nemesis. And then, yep, sure is. And there as well. He's got one of the best mustaches in Super Rugby, that is for sure. But now it's kicked downfield. Will Jordan's got some space here, which is something you don't want to give him. Tane Edmer has missed the tackle as he was just a little bit too quick. Michael Hooper's been able to make the tackle, though, 40 metres out, going to the left. Cullen Grace off to Whainānuku. Tackled high. Oh, wrestle. Tell you what, that was an aggressive tackle from Isaiah Parisi. That looked like a judo throw and a half. And also, it is now going to be the advantage. And yep, yes, that's a victory jersey. And there, and also we've got that George Regan haunting the Kiwis for years to come. And there, and also Moana Pacifica might wear their white strip, I'm guessing. Says Sammy Sosa, because that's the thing. It's probably going to be an alternate kit, isn't it? Oh, no, Whainānuku's put the ball down. Okay, the Satyrs are leaving it till the last minute. And there says Mark, they certainly are, and that is going to be another handling error, but they have got the penalty advantage from earlier on, so they will go back here. George Gregan was a beast. Still the only man to tackle Lomu clean. Is Tesla, and that's the thing. Like, to be able to do that is not easy at all. There's a reason why there's only a very, very short list. And that is because he was an absolute beast. Now 5 metres out from the line. Highlanders are not playing. They played in the last game. Crusaders, their counterpart. And also we have got there how they have a heritage jersey in the first season. And this is Dale. So I believe it is to do with the First of all, I think it was the same as the kind of Tongan relief fund one. That's a brilliant drive for the Crusaders. They seem to think that they're over. They are going to go upstairs. Rebels wear blue, so definitely alternate strip for Moana. This is Samu, or I almost called you Samu Vordre because of the player for the Fijian job. It was Sammy Sosa there. And also, yep, I agree, says Obi. So, yeah, I believe it was kind of the heritage kit for not just the kind of side, but also raising money for the Tongan relief side of things from the tsunami. And also, Try says, Tesla, this could be a good one for the Crusaders. They're saying that it's clearly held up. You're going to see whether or not 8 blue, which would in this matchup be Warren Vaziako, whether or not he has stopped it illegally. They're going to have a look at that. They're going to have a look at everything. As a comment, could it be, says Lord. And yeah, maybe. Maybe there's a chance. Right. Vaziako. That's held up. Wait, if that's still more, that's a penalty try, they have just said. Hello, says Grizzly Boy. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are excited for the Hurricanes versus Brumbies game tomorrow. What is your score prediction for that one? Okay, 7 and 8 are both offside for the Waratahs. I believe this is going to be a penalty try and probably a yellow card. Unless... Hang on. From that angle. Right. They're going to have to check this one again. Crusaders will win by 50 points, says Malmelli. Don't know whether or not they'll be able to get to 50 points, but they might be able to get themselves their first try here. Clearly in the side there before the try, yellow for both, says Lord. There's a chance that at least one player is getting it, and also who scored just stopped on. I believe it is Tom Christie, who might have been able to score that try, and there's not a score. We see every day Waratahs dominant in this game so far, says Barry Green, and also the try, says Facetti. I'm hearing penalty try from Ben O'Keefe. Changes his mind, comes on the side. Okay, 8 blue by the sounds of it, Warren Vaziatho. He is going to be penalised, yellow carded, and it is going to be the penalty try in favour of the Crusaders. They will not have to kick this 3, or the 2, sorry. And that's a rarity. The first try of the match for the Crusaders as a penalty try, and it comes in the 49th minute. Like that. We'll go penalty try. There we go. And in the 49th minute, the Crusaders, well, in fact, sorry, it's only the 47th minute. And that is going to be the yellow card, and this could be the momentum shifter. I wonder what that does to the odds now that they have been able to have that try. We'll go like this. And also, they've got to be at least a yellow. If yellow card could change things, says Dale. Exactly right. Now they've got the next 10 minutes to work the Crusaders with a man advantage over the Waratahs. They will be trying their best to get into it, but that is going to be a straight 7-pointer for the Crusaders. And now it is Warren Vosiatho who will be going off the field for the next 10 minutes. And also, who got a yellow? It was that man, number 8 for the Waratahs, Warren Vosiatho. And now... Okay, Jake Gordon is asking the question of was he guaranteed to score that try, and also who say it is worth the 21 points, and answered, here we go. And there it says Justin, and also Yahoo Sadis says Lord there as well, but it was a good drive from them. See, that's the thing. I think they're just asking the question of whether or not there's truck and trailer involved, but that is the Australian commentators who are currently asking that question. They're saying it's still a maul though, so that is why the yellow card was given. Oh, there you go. Oh, the Waratahs, they are going to be kicking off this one up against Crusaders. That link that I have just put in the chat is for the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. If anyone who does want to check that out, we are on the road to 850 subscribers, currently only 17 away. So if you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. We got our preview that do go up each week on that channel. And also, bro, you put up 7 for my team, please. Says Marmelli. Hopefully it has updated itself now. No, it still hasn't. Okay, so it will update in a very short moment because it does it automatically. Moanga unavailable or resting for the AB. So he was resting for the ABs, I have found out. From people, that's a turnover for the Waratahs on the breakdown. And that is brilliantly done. And also, Joe, let's go Saders, says Vasetti there. Now it is going to be another turnover for them in score, says Lord. So currently it is still waiting to add the score for the Crusaders. I think it's a little bit confused. And subscribe to the sports. Thank you very much, Max. Hugely appreciated, mate. And also subscribe to the other channel, says Dale. And your scorekeeper is asleep, it says Sammy Souza. Yeah, you guys are absolute legends over there. And we are going to have plenty more. Yeah, it's just popped up 2 subscribers just like that. And we're getting closer and closer to the 1,000 on that channel, which is absolutely insane. And it is hugely appreciated from all of you guys who do hit that button. They still haven't given the Crusaders. They've got to give the Crusaders the 7, don't they? They're still not doing it. And also, here we go, Raw Jordan. Time to shine and go Sader, says Malmeli. So everyone who is here knows currently that it's 17 points to 7, except for the scoreboard, which I don't have any effect over in terms of updating by myself. It does do it automatically. It's just a bit of sleep, isn't it? Now passing it back across Edmund, backline movement. Alquani Nawasi, that is ball dropped by Perezi. And now we'll be going back down for the scrum. I wonder how long it's going to be before they add the 7 points for the Crusaders, because it's still not yet. And it's been 2.5 minutes since that yellow card was awarded. It's been quite a while. There we go. Just as I said that, they did end up updating it. But Perezi knocking that ball on. It was a good shot in his ribcage. I believe it was by Sever Reese who was able to put in the big shot. But now the scrum feed and scoreboard lagging, says JSP. It is indeed. And scoreboard must be a Waratahs fan. That is a very good point. But luckily now it has been able to work itself out. A nice change to see Oz on top. Says Cole, exactly right. Like, I love the fact that these games are becoming more and more competitive each year, because, like, at the end of the day, like, no one likes seeing one-sided contests. And even if you are a supporter of the side who are winning massively, you got to admit, it's great to see a close game of rugby. It just gets our heart pumping just a little bit quicker. And also refusing to put the points up must be a wallaby. And also subscribe to the sports, says my city. So thank you very much as well, mate. Hugely appreciate it. And that is going to be wheeling around a little bit. And Charlie Gamble, he was pretty happy with that one, although I think it is going to be a scrum reset. And also we've got there a Super Rugby, I can't count in there, says it was Lord. And also we've there their scoreboard must be a Waratahs fan. And also we've got there, 7 comeback. And also about time the scoreboard woke up, says Sammy Souza, and the chat as well. And also go Crusaders, please, says Malmeli. Apparently they're getting closer. They just need another try, and they are right back in it. Anyone who does want to hit that subscribe button on the QLA Sport, that is the link that I've got there. There's also, I believe I pinned it as the comment, but I could be wrong there. I don't know how that works. I still don't know how YouTube really works. I've been doing this for like 2 years. Got no idea what's going on. There's a penalty to the Crusaders. Nicely done there. And now it does mean that the Crusaders are going to start their comeback just a little bit more. As a Chiefs fan, I hope the Crusaders lose. But as an All Blacks fan, I hope the Crusaders win, says Max. So it's a tough one to choose, isn't it? Of who you want to see another 5 try, please, Crusaders, says Mameli's there. And now it's going into touch from Fergus Burke. They've got another 5.5 minutes of a man advantage for the Crusaders, which can be huge for them, as they have got a very good chance. And also Lowell Max. And there says JSP. So I guess it's that big question. Who do you slightly like more? The Chiefs or the All Blacks? That's a tough question, isn't it? Sam Whitelock now going back. Tom Christie now off to Pablo Matera. Nice carry forward from him. And throughout this match, we've actually had quite a few tries scored by players who probably weren't expected to score tries. It's going to be the advantage for the Waratahs. It's a little knock on the ground. And once again, another mistake. It looks like Dom Gardner might have gotten a sprig to the side of the head. Maybe Charlie Gamble's a happy man, though, because he has been working extremely hard. 4 more tries, please. And there says Lord. Currently, they are working hard. The Crusaders, they got 28 minutes to work All Blacks all day. And yes, please. And it says Vice City. Now Bruno Hall off into the hands of Dom Gardner, who ended up just dropping that ball on the ground, unfortunately. So it was a heat clash with him and Charlie Gamble. And Kiwi Lad, I just want to tell you, you are the best at what you do. Everyone loves you, as well, says Kai. Appreciate you, mate. And that's the thing. We've been doing this consistently for just under the 2 years, like I mentioned, and I've loved every single second of it. Like, no matter what, no matter the game that is going on, whether it's like an under-9s game, we don't cover many of them, I'll just clarify, but even if it was like a random game from around the world, it's you guys who tune into the chat that just make these so much fun. And are you calling the Rebels game as well? I certainly am, Robert. And that will be the game that is coming up straight afterwards. Oh, the Waratahs. Oh, is there going to be a yellow card for Charlie Gamble? And just got on and expected the Crusaders to be a hit by a mile. Says Bish, yeah, this score was not what anyone anticipated. 17-0 at halftime. Are you cheering, please, Crusaders? Or says Mameli, I am from Canterbury, so I should be going for the Crusaders in this one, but I do try and remain impartial for these commentary live streams. Plus, I'm about halfway in between Crusaders and Highlanders in terms of the South Island, so it's pretty easy. Stay impartial. Like, I could literally walk from one side of my town to the other. Half of it would be Crusader supporters. Then as soon as you get to a certain point, it becomes the Otago region, and then you're pretty much going for the Highlanders. I also wonder if Dave Rennie is encouraged by the progress of the Aussie team so far. I'd like to think so, because the closeness of the game so far throughout this round, I'd love to see an Australian side get themselves a win here, just because people will look at the scores and be like, yeah, oh well. Like, pretty much, if the Australian sides don't win, like, they lost. But I want them to look at the scores and be like, okay, that's very close compared to last year. Dan, that's so interesting about your hometown, says Justin. Wow, jumping over the breakdown there. Brent Hall practicing his diving technique. He actually did a dive last week when he was scoring the try. Very good. If he had a few teammates, maybe synchronized swimming could be on the weekends after the rugby, but now it's going to be put in behind from David Avili going for the 50-22, trying to line it up, and it doesn't quite work out. Tane Edmund now for the Waratahs, going to be kicking it back downfield, normally a back Kiwi brethren, saying it's the Crusaders go the Tars, says Johnny Blaze, and I agree, awesome work, Kiwi lad, says Nathan, appreciate you, mate. And also we have got the must be Oamaru, little bit further north than Oamaru. That's where I am, don't worry, bro, Crusaders will win, no doubt, and All Blacks are the best. Crusaders will come back. Go Crusaders go, says Azim there. Taken nicely by Dalzell. He is in the lineup. Same with Sione Sione Havili, who is back after a long injury layoff. And also we've got there, what's the time, says Max. Currently it is sitting 53 minutes through this game. Ollie Yager with another carry. Still only 3 minutes 45 left of their yellow card. If they can get themselves a try before the end of it, they would be extremely happy with that one. Now, nice drive forward from the Crusaders at 8:21. This is Tesla for the actual time. Now it's going to be another advantage to the Crusaders. And also, I lived in Kurow for 2 years, says Dale there. Nice. So you're about, I guess, an hour or so away from whereabouts I am, I believe. Or you were an hour away. Severese goes into Dutch, and it's going back for the initial penalty. Knee was on the ground. He did end up getting in the wrong place at the wrong time for the Waratahs player. 54 minutes through now. And that clock is slowly ticking down. The Crusaders, I don't believe they'll be taking on the 3. Do you have a prediction on the Rebels game? Says Robert. So for that matchup, I did end up on the Kiwi Lad Sport. I do all my previews. I predicted the Rebels to win by 6. But do let me know what your prediction is, Robert. Oh, that one almost didn't find touch. But it does 5 meters out, and it's a brilliant kick. How long for the Yellows? Still another 2 minutes 45 left for this one. But yeah, I did end up going the Rebels just because Moana Pacifica, they didn't play last week. And I think that will be a little bit of a factor in this one, as although now that I think about it, that might benefit them because they'll be fresher because they've had so many games in recent times. I'm a Chiefs supporter, but I just like to come into your live streams. They are so cool. Says Prissy there, appreciate you, mate. And also on my second round of COVID, says Uncle. So hopefully the second round is going smoother than the first. But yeah, be sure to keep yourself well hydrated, stay safe, sleep well, and get as much rest as you can, and hopefully you will be back up and running. And not too long at all. It's going to be stolen by the Waratahs. 5 minutes out. Brilliantly done. Jake Gordon now kicks it downfield. And always, I like how you Kiwis always want the Aussie teams to do well, as that to piss them off, says Flesh. And not really. I think it's just because people have their rivalries between like New Zealand sides and Australian sides. So they always want to see their side lose up against an Australian side because they know that the other side that they actually go for will be able to win. Was that even a sentence? I don't think it was. Robert has become a member. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And we will put that up on the screen. But yeah, it is hugely appreciated you becoming a member. And now you have access to the exclusive emojis that we have got on the channel, whether it's my face, George's face, the Kieran emoji, which is an ex-All Black that we have got in emoji form. Now going back across. Nice quick hands from Stevie Reese. Now down the wing. Got a bit of space trying to bump off the tackle with Jake Gordon. He is now going to be in touch, though. Don't get that one slightly wrong. And also we've got I got hit with COVID twice in a month as well. I mean, the Crusaders behind against the Tars is just shocking considering they have been dominating the season after season. Says Kelly, and in 2 minutes' time, Crusaders going to score. Says Aman there as well. And I believe Will Jordan scoring a try in the 56th minute was the prediction from Tesla. So we will have to wait and see whether or not he has got that one correct in that regard. And also we've got their choice games and there. And also we have got their, it would be really cool to see one of the Australian teams win. And also Spam says, Lord, yeah, I think one of the moderators did end up dealing with that one for ourselves, which is great to see. They're always very quick, the moderators. Like, if I try and block it, it's like this has already been done. Always very useful. We got some very good moderators on this channel, but currently 56. Oh, the voice is disappearing. 56 minutes through, and it's going to be once again stolen by the Waratahs. The line out has been going wrong. I totally missed your prediction on the Rebels game. So I did go Rebels by 6 as my prediction for that matchup. Just because I feel Moana Pacifica, they haven't played last week, and the Rebels have been looking pretty decent. Yeah, bloody weirdo, says Johnny Blaze. But do let me know your prediction, Robert. Who are you thinking will be able to win that game? And nice work, mods. So here's Lord there. Nice run forward. For Whaiananuku also jumping on it. Now the Waratahs trying to get this one back. They have got 5 seconds left of the yellow card. So the Crusaders, if they score now, that would be the perfect time to be able to do so. David Avili. Oh, Harry Johnson-Holmes looks like he's had a serious injury to either his groin or his head. Will Jordan now cutting back on the inside, trying to break through the tackle with Jed Holloway, unable to do so when Australian teams are in the lead. I usually hold my breath. Says Bish there, and it's a pity that the Stafford teams are left, which would have provided more challenging opposition for the Pacifica teams just for that extra thrill and fun. Yeah, it would have been an awesome one. That was a very flat pass from Brynall. Big time IT Williams back in his space. He moves well for a big man, that is for sure. Ball out the back. They are still down to 14 for the next while for the States. Just learning the game. And now, or from the States, just learning the game, says Robert. So what time is it currently? What region are you from? Robert, do let me know. Currently now still going to be available. Bryn Hall kicked it behind, chasing this one up. Fergus Burke, or chasing it relatively softly, I guess you could say, for Fergus Burke. He didn't really try too hard for that one. And also the breeze. And there says Nathan. And also at this stage, Vosiato, his time in the bin is done, but there might be another man who we will be walking past. He might be a straight sub for them, but they are checking this one out for Sever Reese. About 7 drinks men running onto the field. It's been a fast-paced fixture between these two sides. Okay, if that trend continues, you're going to have another person in. They've been 4:26 a.m. in Brooklyn, so that is commitment and a half, mate. And yeah, I hope you are doing well. Do you have Peacock? I believe it's on Peacock, if I'm not wrong, in Australia, or not in Australia, sorry, in the US, to be able to watch these games. I want to say it's on Peacock anyway, but I could be wrong there. Hopefully it is. It also works. They're watching the MLR. Commentators usually explain everything to North American fans. So here's Sammy Sosa there. And also we've got a few good Australian, New Zealand players over there. And 4:26 p.m. in Singapore. So here's David there. And also is there any issue why Moanga didn't play? It was pretty much due to having to, I think it was AB's resting that he did have to do, just so that he is all good to go for the upcoming Ireland tour. We have got the Etasevo score. He has not yet. Did end up getting smashed, I believe, though. And also Mamili, AB's break. And then also we've got their Peacock in there. Yeah, I think that is the American streaming for sports. And come on, Tar, says Trent. And yeah, at this stage, Harry Johnson-Holmes getting some big strapping on that knee. For me, if he's getting this much strapping, he probably shouldn't continue. He's had his shift, 58 minutes worth. Take him off and then bring on, I believe they've got Archer Holt as the guy who can replace him. So I feel like that's not a bad switch, and that should probably be the way that they go for the Waratahs. You don't want to risk Harry Johnson-Holmes, as he is a great player, and he will certainly be able to help them out. But anyone who is new to the channel, while we have got this little brief moment in time, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as we have got plenty more videos coming up. And also, be sure to check out this Kiwi Lads link that we have got. That is to the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, which is our other one, WWE on Peacock too. That is very true. And also, we got another new member. Thank you very much, Alava McLear. Hopefully I said that correctly, but thank you very much for adding that membership button. If you do want access to those emojis, all you got to do is right down in that bottom corner, you will be able to see all of the little, I guess, pictures that we have got as our certain emojis. We've still got a Christmas one on there, which we definitely need to update in the near future. And also, we've got there, rather listen to you. You're awesome, says Robert. Appreciate you, mate. And we have got plenty more coming up in the future, that is for sure. We've got all the Super Rugby. We cover every single game. We also do the sevens on the channel, the Rugby Championship or United Rugby Championship, and all of the international matches that we can squeeze in are all taking place from the cricket or from the channel. And also, like I just said, cricket is another one that we have done a little bit of in the past. Do you reckon the Aussie games are less exciting than the New Zealand games? Says Prissy. I think it depends on who's playing. Because some of those games, like Brumbies versus Reds, I love seeing that intriguing battle every time. Currently, the Crusaders only a few meters out from the line, and they have got themselves the line out. Goes in. It's almost stolen by the Waratahs once again now, but it's a little knock on. And you should cover WWE and UFC fights, Hamish. And he says it is actually an idea that we have thought about in the past. We do want to do some UFC. Would be quite cool to do. WWE, it's probably a little bit tricky. I'd have to learn. Like, that's the thing. I've watched WWE for most of my life, but I'd have to relearn kind of all of the names of the moves, etc. That's Sione Havili, who goes over. He's only just come back from injury, and he has now been able to score the try for the Crusaders. The comeback is certainly on now, and they are working extremely hard to be able to get themselves a good opportunity of winning this game. But Sione Havili does end up scoring it, and that was in the 60th minute, we will call it. But now the Crusaders, they are back in this game. Like I mentioned earlier on, they were $2.05 underdogs. They are certainly not that now when you start commentating on women's beach volleyball. So here's Johnny Blaze there, and Crusaders playing bad, or the Tars just playing good. The Tars are playing phenomenal in this thing. Gamble Tars 6 having a good game, and then how much she played Canterbury under 19s 2015. Says Uncle. Wait, under 19s 2015. So that means he's only about 26 or something, Charlie Gamble. Bright future ahead of that man, perhaps. Oh, Fergus Burke almost missed from about 20 metres out, if not less than that. So that was close. And also, yes, the Crusaders, how long with this take to put up? And there says Lord, and also, how long will it take? And also, Trent has done thank you very much, Trent. And UFC next week, lightweight championship, do it. And there's says Trent, and it was with the donation. Do appreciate it a lot, mate. I'll have a quick look. Who is fighting in the UFC? Oh, okay. One thing is there will be a Super Rugby game beforehand, but if you are willing to watch us afterwards, we might be able to go straight into a UFC matchup. Who we got for next week? UFC 274. Oh, Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. I said that very weird, didn't I? Okay, that's a great fight card. That's a very good fight card. The fact that Donald Cerrone is the first fight on that card tells you it's going to be a cracker. And I was close 4 minutes off and not Will. And there says Desert Arizona. So rare for the Crusaders to have an off game, says Sammy Souza. Apparently now it is going to be a line out in favour of the Waratahs. So they are still fighting hard. And at this matchup, I just realised that the game disappeared, but it was because I had it over there and I was trying to get it back on here. And it wasn't quite working out for us. But yeah, that's a good card. OSP versus Rua, like heavyweight. Nice one. It also asks Kiwi's got to support our man Israel Adesanya. And there's his Tesla. Wait, is he fighting? No, he's not fighting next week, is he? When's he fighting next? Israel Adesanya. Who's he locked in for? 275, is he? No, that's going to be not him on the main card. Robert Whittaker, Marvin Vittori is going to be on that card. Yeah, also Kai Kara France doing very nicely recently for himself. Brent Hall passes it across, and also it might as well be a weekend of game 2 or a weekend of 2 half games, I'm assuming. Jack Goodhue, what's that? He's just thrown that ball about 2 metres forward, maybe even 5 metres forward for himself. That did not work out for himself. And now Goodhue, he'll be disappointed with that one. So approximately, Trent, do you know what time hang on, I'm going to do some maths here. So the Brumbies, not the Brumbies, Hurricanes versus Fiji and Drua game starts at can't speak anymore, 3:35 p.m. So do you know what matches or what fights of the UFC will be going on from about 5:30 onwards? How many fights do you think we'd be able to fit in if we did it straight after the Fiji and Drua versus Hurricanes game? Do let me know. Now, currently, they are going to be driving their way forward nicely for the Waratahs. Once again, it's going to be in their hands. It's going to be Vailanu with a bit of a leg drive. Has been able to drag it down. What are the TAB odds? Now we'll have a quick look at them. Although I assume the Crusaders are now back to favourites. And if only copyright restrictions weren't a problem. And yeah, I'd love to be able to show the matches or even just some sort of like visual cue of what's going on. But they just don't seem to have any chance of that happening, unfortunately, just because they're very strict with it. Like you can literally show 1 second and they'll take you down. And now it is going to be passed back. Sever Reese just outside of the 22 kicks a forward. Get a co-host do one on Sports Channel and UFC on this one, says Dale. That's actually a very good idea. Although the only thing is my co-host, when I do have George round, he is normally here next to me. Maybe I could try and persuade Isaac. See if he would like to do the UFC till I end up being available. And he's got a co-host, George, but George is a busy man. So he's there around 3 p.m. Sydney time is usually the main event of the main card of the U. Oh, so that's like right when the rugby is going on. I could do a little bit of a duo one. I watch the UFC, tell you guys who's winning the fights during that one while also doing the rugby alongside it. Or we might just have to do a fight night for maybe a future one. But I'm looking forward to that fight now that I've seen that card should be an awesome one. And also Crusaders line's been very good, and Whitaker has retired from the Vittori fight injured. Really? Oh, okay, so they have to change that one more than likely. So who's going in rather than him? And that means George as a co-host. And this is that even a good idea? It's a questionable one at times. Wallabies is going to be something to watch for sure. And then also we have got Nathan in the chat has said at one moment we will go like this, and we will go like this. Nathan has said there in the chat, you're doing an awesome job, lad. Listening to you and watching a 10-second delay on Stan Warrior, Waratahs versus Crusaders. There's Nathan there. And the odds, I should mention, are $1.50 favourites now for the Crusaders. Do you reckon the Satyrs will get their dangerous last 20 minutes back? I think so. I think they're starting to build quite nicely. And low, you sweet. And there's Trent. And also we've got that Georgie must be grabbing his hair and how the Crusaders are playing. And do you still play Rugby Challenge 4? Occasionally. We actually have had a few videos up on the channel for Rugby Challenge 4 more recently. And I'm hoping to do the Hurricanes versus Brumbies, but it will depend on time zones because I know that tonight, what's the time? I know that tonight I think I'm up till tomorrow, if that makes sense. Rush defense there from David Arvilli, and I think they're checking Dalzell's tackle here. And also 3 more tries, please, Crusaders. Says, Lord, have you got a bet on them any chance for that? Prezi maybe. For them to get 3 more. Right, Dalzell might be in trouble here for the Crusaders now. Right, where are we looking? The sevens are starting in 7 hours, 53 minutes. And we are going to be covering some of it on the channel. Like they're saying, there's not a huge amount there, but it could end up as a yellow card because it was head contact. He's bent at the hips, he's low. Because he's so low, it's head on head. I think this is going to be a yellow card, unfortunately, for him. But the first game of the sevens that we are covering on the channel is 7:34 a.m. That is between Australia, no, that's a lie, USA and New Zealand. That is going to be the first matchup. And then after that, we've got England versus Fiji. Then later on in the morning at 10:38 a.m., which is in 14 hours' time. I'm going to have to rethink this, but I think we're going to be up all night anyway. And then Fiji versus New Zealand. That's a massive game. And then after that, we're probably going to sleep for a few hours, wake up for the Brumbies versus Hurricanes, and then go back to sleep, get ready for the sevens. We haven't got there. There has been a lot of red cards this year, says Prizzy. And also, who's getting the yellow? What team? Says Penos. It looks like it could be the Crusaders. No foul play. Okay. So it is going to be all right to continue for this one for Hamish Dalzell. And also just friendly bet on this game, says Lord Rapture. Okay, if he was upright, and I'm assuming it's the 7 schedule you're reading out, Hamish. Yes, it is. Sorry, I should clarify. 7s for the women's side of things is what we have got. Has there been a lot of red cards this year? A huge amount. And just to show how huge of an amount that we've got, like, this is pretty much the way that I describe it. At the start of the season, it was $9 for a red card in a game. Now it's $4. So that's how much it's drastically dropped. Tamati Williams, he's a big man, or Tamaiti Williams, sorry. And also we have got there, is that the women's or the men's sevens? It is the women's sevens this time that we have got. And also few no cards. And also Blues player ran into a Tamati sandwich. That would not be a fun sandwich to run into, I wouldn't think, as he is a very large man. And I was like, okay, sweet as. And yeah, but yeah, tomorrow morning, that big game, 10:38 a.m. That is between the Fijiana sevens and New Zealand women's sevens. That's going to be a good one to be able to watch. And Brata Mighty Williams, yeah, he's a beast. 6'5", 150 kgs or so, and just an absolute unit of an individual. Cullen Grace now off the back to Will Jordan. Flat pass off to Sever Rees, close to the touchline. Brilliantly done to stay in the field of play. And it was as if he was walking on a tightrope at the moment. Warren Waziathoi has been taken off, and then as Will Harrison said, and sure his girlfriends like the sandwich says now. It's a very good point. A women's sevens, where is it held? It is in Canada once again, which is why it's such a sucky time zone for us here in New Zealand. But if it was, like, that's the thing, even though it's in the middle of the night, we're still up, we're still covering it on the channel. It's just always nice seeing the sun. So we'll probably see it in the morning and then sleep through the rest of the day. Now Simon Hickey is also out on the field for Fergus Burke. It's been stolen by Dylan Pitch. It's a foot race trying to step around the tackle of Arvelli, who has been able to slow him down but missed the tackle. Will Jordan in the end has to finish it. And he's 150 kg. What an animal. He's got to be somewhere around there anyway. He's an absolute unit of an individual. And also the Bulldogs, 10 at the Roosters, 4 in there. Now nice run from Isaiah Parisi. Brilliant cams. And yeah, says it was Mark Roberts. It's a clean turnover from the Crusaders. So, and I'm definitely thinking Langford on the women's sevens. I believe it is Langford now that you say that. I do night shift as I never see the sun. Says down there. So I assume you get your vitamin D in other ways, or vitamin C, vitamin D. I think it's vitamin D in it. Vitamin C is from an orange or a kiwi fruit. Fun fact, kiwi fruits actually have more vitamin C than oranges. That was taken back by the Crusaders. That's a massive moment because now they are going to be going right back to their own 22, and the Waratahs will have their line-out throw. Currently, the referee, the Waratahs, they have to work hard in the next little while to be able to get this. This is too close. At the moment, every game of this competition so far this round has been close, and this game's going to be no different. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're back a little bit later on for the Rebels versus Moana Pacifica. That game is kicking off in about an hour and 5 minutes, but we are starting our live stream in an hour's time. And it should be a very entertaining one. See exactly who is able to get themselves a win. I think it's going to be a relatively close game as well. Golden point, says Dale. Maybe. Could be on the cards. I wouldn't mind it. Love watching me a golden point fixture. But Te Tahurio now out on the field. Oh, Dalzell. He's possibly got himself in trouble that time. It's a head-on-head contact, and they haven't got the advantage yet, though. But he went down like a sack of spuds, so they're probably going to have to check him for a head knock a little bit later on. David Arvelia stayed down, and Oscar Crusaders come on. And they're from Oscar. They're only a couple meters out now for the Waratahs. Now Jeff Cridge running it hard. He has only just made his way out onto the field. Nice inside ball from Jake Gordon. A little bit of the silky skills going on here. And the Waratahs, they've got the advantage. Jake Gordon considered reaching out. Charlie Gamble, boy, he's close. But he's going to be just a metre short. Around the side, Vailanu finds the offload to Jeff Cridge, who is way too high now. Perezi breaking through wide pass. Out of the hands of Dylan Page. One-on-one defence. Brilliantly done by Te Tahurio and big Tamaiti Williams just gets rid of him. There's the thing. Tamaiti Williams is not one that you want to be close to the touchline with. Him trying to push you into touch. And now Michael Hooper, he will have to go off the field. I think they're going to check Dalzell maybe as well. Waratahs are going to be mad. Process hits, and also since went to the Crusaders play with 16 players, including the ref. And it says Sammy Souza. Wow, that's upwards. Same player for Dalzell. That time, I would say he was up and out of that dip, as the commentator pretty much just said in my eardrums. So because of that, I think this time he's going to get a yellow card here. Definitely for taking out Michael Hoop, and also his attacking says Penos. At the moment, the Waratahs are in a very good attacking position. It's stack of spuds. Haven't heard that in years, says Nathan. Yeah, no, it's just a big kiss on the mush, really, for him. Dalzell, he got his jaw bent backwards. He's coming up, and he's going off, I believe. He's going to get yellow carded, more than likely. And also we have got there for the All Blacks. For an All Black TTT, sure plays bugger all club games. Exactly right. And that's why I don't think it was a smart move him going to the Crusaders. I think he should have gone to either the not the Highlanders, either the Hurricanes or the Blues. I would have liked to see him go to, as he would have gotten a lot more opportunities than playing alongside Bryn Hall and also Mitch Drummond. And does this help the Blues in any way? CSX, it does a little bit. It does mean that more than likely they will be able to extend that lead a little bit more, because currently as the table sits, I'll quickly get it up for you. The difference is he's upright. This is going to be a yellow card for Dalzell, maybe even a red. It's a red card. It's another red card. So I mentioned about the fact that rather than being $9, it's now $4 for red cards on the TAB, and that's another one. Dalzell, he was probably a little bit lucky earlier on. He probably needs an HIA anyway after having his jaw put down onto his chest. And also, as the ball, it's going to be the Waratahs who have got this ball, and they've got a man advantage now. Okay, then go Tars. And there's Hicks. So currently the Blues are sitting on in first on 40 points. Crusaders in second on 33. So if the Waratahs win this game, they will move themselves up above the Hurricanes. They will move up to about 28 points. And also, who got the red card? What team? It was the Crusaders. Hamish Danzel, who does go off. And also, nice to see you after so many days. I was busy as well. So he's going to welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Taken nicely by Jeff Cridge. This is a massive opportunity. GD Tars won. And there says was Tesla. And also, you up the Blues and go the Tars. And also, Hamish. And there says Nathan. Currently now, going to be pushing once again. Nice drive for the Waratahs. Meter short. Vailanu short side. He has been stopped by Tamaiti Williams. It's a penalty try. Massive. And that's a straight 7 for the Tars. Does that mean there could be a yellow card coming? Yes, there is. It's another card. Ben O'Keefe's going to run out of them soon, because that one's going to be in the favor of the Waratahs. And that could just be what they needed. Who is it? It's Pablo Matera now, who is gone. So now 2 of the forwards off the field. It's a penalty try for the Waratahs. Their first try in quite some time. Penalty try. And they are now down to 13 men out there on the field for the Crusaders. With only 13 minutes left as well, this is going to be a tough comeback. If they do somehow do it, it would be monumental. If they don't do it, it's going to be history for the Tars. You've got there, I know, another slice of cheese and a wide penalty try in there, and also Ogret, and also damn it, says Lord there. And also we've got there, my friends, chose who's going to win each game on Super. It's really cool. And there says Prizzy. So for this game, I mean, I well and truly got it wrong. On the Kiwi Lads Sport channel, I previewed this game, and I guessed that the Crusaders would win it by 21, although I don't think anyone could have predicted this score. Like, even Waratahs supporters, I want to say, were slightly hesitant going into this game with the fact that the Crusaders played pretty well last week. And oh my gosh, Crusaders, and there says Oscar, that's forced into touch, and it's a penalty to the Crusaders. They aren't out of this game. They've still got time, man of the match. For me, this man of the match, it's either going to be Charlie Gamble or Noah Kwanetawasi. Crusaders are paying $16 to win. When have you ever heard anyone say that the Crusaders are $16 underdogs? Could Waratahs make it 41 or 31-14? There's a chance if they do get themselves another try. And good to see Triple T strings out there. It says Manly for life. Yeah, he just doesn't get many opportunities, does he? So I'd love to see more of him. Nice commentator. Says, "Let me appreciate you, mate." And also what happened, says Ed Vogel. So first one was the penalty for the high shot, which was a red card. And then the second one was a drag down rolling maul, which became a penalty try and a yellow card. Looks like an Aussie team finally wins this weekend. There's Sammy Souza. It certainly doesn't. It's a nice little points margin at the moment. Waratahs by 13 would have made someone rich if anyone had it. Okay, Big Time says Lord, and also go Waratahs. Says Oscar, and also which games you like to watch and commentate league games versus international games in both rugby and cricket. I like more international ones. What do you think? I love the international, but I love Super Rugby. Like, it's kind of like you see all those players in the Bunnings NBC. Great offload. Will Harris now with some space. He's got Jake Gordon with him. He has to run himself, though, as he wasn't quite able to link up Severy straight on the ball. He wins the penalty for the Crusaders. Hello, Kiwi lads. I'm a Kiwi bringing on the Crusaders. And so when Savia left the Crusaders, Spirit left as well. Here's BDG there. And also, man, Hurricanes and Blues have also got to play against the Waratahs on their home field too, says Hex. And they are proven that this is a very good ground for them. But Waratahs, the thing is, I've just seen that stat. 15 penalties the Waratahs have conceded, yet they are 10 points up. No side can do that. And they've just played well. And also, nice commentator says, Louis Jr., appreciate you, mate. And currently now it is going to be the line out here for the Crusaders. It is their number 16. We'll be throwing this one in, Ricky Jackson. But that link that I have just put there is for the Kiwi Lads Sport channel. Be sure to check it out. Normally I do not too badly for my predictions, but this one I was well off. And I say, yeah, just like Call of Duty Tars have lost or have host advantage there as well. So you're thinking maybe there's less lag for them being from their home ground. I guess there's less jet lag, even though it's only a couple hours of the difference. And now Simon Hickey going to be keeping up how many left. And there says Max. So currently in this game, we have got another 9 minutes left in this fixture, and they are looking brilliant. Pitch now trying to drive his way forward. Can the Tars hang on for just a little bit longer? But games becoming more unpredictable. It's testament to the massive improvements from the Aussie teams, which in turn will be huge for the Wallabies Rugby Championship and Bledisloe chances. And also, I'm surprised Bulls beat Glasgow. Says BDG, and also could Waratahs make a fortress out of the Oval? Maybe. I'd love to see it, because I feel like all of these sides, they want that home ground that they go to and they just perform. And this seems like Leichhardt Oval might be slightly becoming that way. And exactly right, Hamish Status are on a red bar connection. Tars on green bar, they're not lagging at all. Says Tesla, but now it's going to be Simon Hickey. Wide cut out pass out to Jack Goodhue. And he has never lost a game against an Australian side, and he doesn't plan on starting now. He's kicked it in behind Noah Konetawasi and Lester Fainanoku having the foot race. That is a fun one to say when you're talking quick and auctioneer. It could become maybe that ball's going to be just available for the Waratahs counter right from the Crusaders, who are currently playing with 13 men. Read an article saying Crusaders dynasty is ending. What I've seen this year could be right, unfortunately. And I got the Crusaders lost this. And looking at this, I feel like the Hurricanes may get pumped against the Tars, says Hex. And also we've got these Waratahs will play themselves into the Wallabies jersey if they beat the Crusaders tonight. They certainly will. 7.5 minutes left, and the Crusaders have still got another 6 minutes left of their yellow card. Why don't the Aussie teams come over to New Zealand? Says Prissy next week. They are going to be coming over, but because of the super round, they did all have it over there. What a rare sight this is. Says Max, it certainly is. And yeah, it's just a monumental performance from the Waratahs. They've fought like a side that want to win an man of the match. And there says Oscar, and also we've got their Sunwell next week. There's a Nov Mum there as well. But Dylan Peach getting a standing ovation, and the Highlanders going to play the Tars says hits. I believe they do play them. I'm just going to have a quick look and see when it has taken place. Now the Crusaders using that back line once again. There's still a 10-point difference. If the Crusaders score twice, this could be one for David Harvey. Oh, no, he's tripped himself, and he has lost his footing. There was a massive opportunity. Taitaroa off to Will Jordan, who was having a bit of a juggle. I think he dropped that, but no one's seen it. Now only a metre short of the line now for the Crusaders. And the ball is available. Taitaroa and why don't Aussie teams come over to Fiji? It's just unfair. That's close. That's very close. And it's a try. And it's going to be Fletcher Null who does end up scoring it now. And they are back in this game. The Crusaders with 13 men. They want to put a final dagger on the cake. Well, you probably shouldn't put daggers on a cake unless you're chopping the cake with your dagger. Then that makes sense. But other than that, maybe put candles on the cake as it is probably someone's birthday. But that is going to be the try in the 74th minute. The Crusaders back in it. And also 8 minutes. And then also a good game from the middle spikes. And there from the Waratahs. And also we have got there what scores, says Marcus. So Fletcher Null has been able to score that one. He is very happy with that try. And now Crusaders back in it a little bit. Yahoo Saders, will they be 13 men for the whole game? Not quite. They've got Pablo Matera coming back in like the last 2 minutes of this matchup. But come on, go Saders, says X. And also go Crusaders, says Coop. And also 13 men. That's why, says a BDG. Currently now Crusaders are $3.20 underdogs. Very quick change. And that one, nope, now they're back up to $15. No, that must be wrong, I would think. No, it does have them as $15 underdogs. So I wonder what's happened since the change, because they have now got that one back a little bit, but that kick has gone over from himself. And also we've got that GGTTT and it there as well. Currently now, Tane Edmund ready to go. Oh, that's one. And also we've got that Fletcher Null. That boy's a powerful bloke. The Crusaders bench squat record. And they're now in the coffin. To get to the Crusaders' chances, if that's what you mean. Sammy Sosa, probably more than likely that way around. But I did get it slightly wrong, didn't I? And a little bit wonky. But currently now, the Crusaders, they need a try. And they need one soon. If the Waratahs score, they will be back into this game. And they will possibly have a chance of being able to win it. But the Crusaders, they want to fight hard. And another game down to the wire. Exactly right. Still think it's going to be Blues Crusaders grand final. Will be an awesome one. And what streams are you going to do for the European games? So we have got the matchup that has taken place between Leinster and the Stormers. The other game that we are going to be doing will be the matchup taking place, hopefully, between the Sharks and Benetton. But if we don't do that game, then it is also going to be that other one that I did mention. We're definitely doing Leinster versus the Stormers. So Tane Emma with a nice run back. Going to be the number 23, Ben Ram, round 11, also known as the round of the close games. It's going to be a counter-ruck for the Crusaders, and they do get that ball back now. It sits up for Will Jordan, and now cuts his way across field. Nice run for Will Jordan. He saw the gap and almost went straight through it. And also, I agree with that one. And come on, Crusaders, you can do it. Only 4 minutes left, and they've still got the 2-man disadvantage. Why no one watches your genderless videos? And this is, it was Johnny Blaze, and also Crusaders going to win this one. No worries. Here's Amano, though. It's a close finish for this one. Taken nicely by Simon Hickey. Now slinging it across. Will Jordan's got some space. It looked like he was going to kick it, but now he looks like he's going to try and use that back line off to Severus, who's going to score. And then also slow score change. It always takes a while when the Crusaders score by the looks of it. And also, while you're live streaming on your PC, is power on all time, or sometimes it's on battery. It is on power, which is why our power bill will be through the roof. But that is why I pretty much have to be careful with when I live stream, I guess. Those are being completely bitten to dust. The moderation team are earning their money tonight. And as the ball is currently in the hands of the Crusaders, it's going to be the backline movement. Big man, Sam Whitelock. Ball on the outside. Bigger man to Mighty Williams. Now passes it across to Fletcher. No, straightens with a big drive. You wouldn't think the Crusaders are playing with 13 men currently. They are looking like a team possessed, but it is 2 forwards that they are missing. Jack Goodhue has to take heavy contact. And Tane Emmett is able to rip him down. And also we have got there who had the ball. And also, hey, brother, close one. It is indeed. Currently, the Crusaders are still hanging on to this one. And come on, give the best games a chance. Now, a little bit high on Will Jordan. Come on, Saders. And also score is 21-19. Or 21 or 19. They have got 21-24. But for some reason, the scoreboard doesn't like updating for the Crusaders throughout this fixture. Come on, Crusaders, says TTT, but still in their hands. And did they start with 13 men? They did not start with 13 men, but they are ending this game with 13 after a red card and also a yellow card come in very recently. Simon Hickey passes it back. Goodhue's got the ball. And like I mentioned, he does not want to have his first ever loss against the Crusaders or against a Australian side. Another big run forward. Still just on their side. Charlie Gamble trying to get on the ball, unable to do so. Triple T off to Simon Hickey. Now big hit on him. Even the scoreboard doesn't want. There we go. It has just updated itself. Can't watch anymore, says Tesla. And also, come on, drop goal. Come on, Crusaders. It's a penalty to the Waratahs in the 78th minute. And that could be the changing moment in this matchup. And it's none other than Charlie Gamble, my man of the match. And also, we don't tolerate that language, Alice. And also we have got their drop goal, come on Crusaders, and also we have got their go Crusaders, go CZMH showing go Crusaders. Says Cooper and try, but now they will be back to 14 men. Cullen Grace on the ground, Charlie Gamble straight over him. Perfect body position. And the ball bounced out the side. And then it was able to get the 2-0. Well, GG, game over. Not yet. They've still got the line out. And also penalty for the Waratahs, says Oscar. It certainly was. And Charlie Gamble, he has worked himself to exhaustion in this game. And also, you are a Chiefs fan, right? Or a Sader fan. I have a Chiefs kit because it was sent to me by one of you guys. But other than that, I don't actually have any other kits or anything. That looks like Rams going off the field now. Some sort of injury. Doesn't look too good. Come on, Crusaders. This is not what I wanted. And there's SX. And also, I have no trust in the Satyrs lineouts. And also, he's a hardcore Chiefs fan in it. There says Johnny. And Johnny was the one who sent me the Chiefs kit. And I have worn it many times. And the Chiefs have won many times when I have been wearing it. And also, I have no trust in the Satyrs lineout. Although the big thing is, they are not going to be the side who have the lineout throw. And Irish Bulls struggled against the Bulls. And there's us beating G. I just tuned in. Others definitely not what I expected, says Justin. I don't think anyone did. I think everyone thought this one was almost a given. Were they cheating again? Is that why they got the card, says Mark? One of them was a head-high contact and then also dragging down the rolling maul was the other one. But the interesting side of things is Crusaders have given away 6 penalties. Waratahs 17 in this matchup. And we always got their Waratahs will win, says Akshay, and even worse, says Hex there. And also what I meant to say is how many mistakes which made Glasgow stay in the game. And there it says BDG. Now throwing it in. It's taken nicely. 1 minute left for the Waratahs. Oh, he's given away the advantage to Mighty Williams. How many minutes left? Just the one. And because of it, they can really just use their time well here. For the Waratahs, they can look for a few phases. Jake Gordon, beautiful flick pass up to Alex Newsom, brilliant run. And that's gone down. It's going back for the penalty. Right, he's got 30 seconds left. They could go for a possible penalty shot here and get themselves a win at man of the match. He's played very well as well. I have a $50 bet on my friend's man, or with my friend's man, says Hex. And also, we really come on draw. So you lose, you both lose, says Gareth. So the case is this. The Waratahs, they will have to go for something. Who has the ball at the moment? The Waratahs have got this one on the halfway line. We're restarting no matter what. Okay, they are going to be kicking for the touchline. So Jake Gordon, he will tap. He will kick it out. And the Waratahs win. They stalled for long enough to be able to kick that ball out. History has been made. And the Waratahs beat the Crusaders. And tap and go. Says Maxi, it was indeed. And the Waratahs, the crowd at Leichhardt Oval are going absolutely crazy at the moment. As the Crusaders, they have been defeated by the Waratahs. We have got commentators. I put a bit on. We know we said 17-1. Says it was lauded. Also, we have got the Waratahs. And there says Junior. And also, well, says Justin, a massive game for the Waratahs. And also the score remind from the Chiefs. And there's Barry Green. But nice win for the Waratahs. At the end of the day, they did play extremely well. They were dominant in that first half. 17-0. The Crusaders fought back with 21 points. But at the end of the day, they were still able to go over Poos as well, says Dale. And also, congratulations, Waratahs, for a good match. And best victory, Tars. And then Tata Saders. Says Tesla, there were comments at the start of the live stream saying there was no chance at all for the Waratahs to win this game. And they have come out and they have fired on all the cylinders to be able to win it. And gamble for Australia Wallabies in 2022, he has got to be. Because he has been absolutely phenomenal. And that's like what time is the next match on? It is going to be 40 minutes time. We are going to be coming back for the next live stream. But 9:45 will be when that next one is starting at F the script. Says Coop, and also we feel sorry for Sever and also better team one. Says Mark, exactly right, and brother, that ref is helping the Waratahs. Says Xavier, I mean, you can say that, but then the Waratahs were penalised 17 times. So, you know, it's a tricky one because, yes, they ended up with the cards. Tane Edmund is in tears at the moment. The last time he played at Leichhardt, he was playing in the under-12s. And now he's back out there and he just can't quite believe it. Also, rest cheating, says Pateru there. And also, we've got the Australia franchise being better in the competition, giving New Zealand a run for the money. And Paul Western Force next week, says X. And also, we have got the good upgrade. Peanuts to a red, says Jelly Blaze. And also, we've got, let's see how Crusaders respond to this. Going to make it difficult to make the semis, says it was Maxi. Although at this stage, I believe they are still in third. So that is one benefit for them. But I believe the big thing for them will be, because we've got the quarterfinals, it's just whether or not they've got that home game. But they will have a slightly tougher opposition. And that next one now is this history made. And there says, well, it's a monumental win for one thing, because at the end of the day, 28 out of 29 in the last two times, or the last times that these two sides have played, has gone the way of the Waratahs, but they've won at Leichhardt Oval up against the Crusaders, which is something they haven't been able to do before, I don't believe, from this one. And all credit to the Tars boys. Let's focus on the positive things. And also we have got there, I feel sorry for Sevu, says Lord. Yeah, didn't really get much of the ball. Crusaders only started playing after the red and yellow, and a flash tune up from them tonight. And yeah, that first half, they'll be very disappointed with how it went. And also leave now so you can get a break between matches. And Tars have finally done it for the Aussies. And also we have got there, stop moaning, so says Betty G, and also up the blue, says Hex. So yeah, at the end of the day, the Crusaders, like looking at the stats to do with this match, you'd have to argue there is like no reason that the Waratahs shouldn't have won. They have more meters carried in this matchup. A moment, I am just refreshing while we wait for it. They have more meters carried by a couple, 3 tries apiece. Defenders beaten 21 over the 25. Clean breaks 6-0. Offloads 15-6 in there as well. And then they also miss less tackles than the Crusaders throughout this matchup. Do the Crusaders get the bonus point? They certainly do. So they will have a good chance. But the Crusaders in the end having 56% of the possession. They had a lot more of it in the second half. And Hamish Joy has said, awesome commentary, Hamish, and nonetheless great comms as per usual, Hamish. Appreciate you, mate. And still this year, Crusaders is not favourite, but Blues, my friend. And there says Aman, and also we have got their good commentator, says Louis Jr. Appreciate you a lot, mate, for being here. And well done to us, says MH Choi. And the Tars have finally done it for the Aussies and also up the Blues, says Hex. And also, tell you what, the chat is going very quick at the moment. The Hurricanes play the Tars before the Blues do. Will it be Hurricanes or the Blues to avenge first? That's a good question. I can't wait for the highlights. Good to see Leinster and now the best team in world rugby, says Owen there. And they've got their game later on against the Stormers. We are actually going to be covering that game on the channel as well. And also, are we done? Says Matthew Jones. I assume, are we done with this match? We are pretty much done with this one. But after that, we have got the next game, Rebels versus Moana Pacifica, kicking off in only 45 minutes time. And also, I do not want to check Instagram comments. I would avoid all social media because it is going to be a rough one. And good for Rugby, says Cole. Exactly right. At the end of the day, the Waratahs, they were the deserving side. Dylan Peach had 140 meters run in this game. 10 carries, 10 defenders beaten, 3 clean breaks. His team deserved the win. And at the end of the day, it's just very impressive indeed. Penalties conceded, 16 against the Waratahs compared to the 8 of the Crusaders. So the Waratahs were penalised a lot more in this fixture. They had the penalty try and a yellow card earlier on. The score is just sad. There's Matthew Jones there. And also a tough game. And also the Tars proved that they need Israel Folau. And Crusaders can still make the semi. They certainly can. And I believe they may even be able to make it with the home final, depending on how it ends up going. But Tainer Emid going over to his mates in the crowd, giving them a hug. He's in tears at the moment, Tainer Emid. He cannot quite believe that they have been able to win it. And Jake Gordon, he is absolutely loving it as well. But still plenty of time for the Crusaders. They should be able to make it through to the semi-finals as long as they win their quarterfinal fixture. That has come around and give the Tars a load, or give a loud, oh yeah. And also the Blues fans are going to rip them up. And the Tars proved that they don't need high salary players, says Ed Vogel there. And also good luck to any Satyrs fans trying to defend themselves in the Insta comment and keep this up. And we can beat League, says Cole there. Yeah, it's just massive for them. Cody Taylor, he said that they wanted it more. They came out firing and they did extremely well throughout that game. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back for the game between the Rebels and the Waratahs in a very short moment. In about 40 minutes time, we will be back on the channel. And also that link that I have just put in the chat, it is to the Kiwi Lad Sport. Be sure to go over there, hit the subscribe button. Don't watch the preview that I did between the Waratahs and the Crusaders because I said Crusaders would win by 21. I'm going to have to take that one back. I just misspoke. I said the Crusaders will get 21. That was what I was meaning in that one, of course. And good for rugby, at least showing that Australia still has a bit of skill. And also, they will be knackered in the quarters. It's not semi-final for sure. If not semi-final for sure, 100%. And what an exciting game it was. It certainly was. And our mate beating one big team, no achievement, says it BDG there. And also, in a way, this is huge for Aussie Rugby Union. It certainly is indeed. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys back in about 35 minutes time for the next one. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the Kiwi Lad Sport that I have just put that link to, and I will see you all